Good morning, Tradeify Nation, and welcome to another edition of Tradeify TV. It is Wednesday, August 6, 2025. It is 60 minutes before the New York opening bell, which means it's time for us to get you ready for your trading day. It is Wednesday. It is a white tea Wednesday. It's also a Moss Wednesday. He will be joining us in about 45 minutes. But in the meantime, the three of us are going to get you ready for the New York trading session. So good morning to both of my co-hosts. And let's kick it over to Mr. White Tea himself, the originator of White Tea Wednesday. Of course, only days that end in Y does he wear white teas. So he's infecting us with his European sensibility. Mr. Swiss Nick himself, Mr. White Tea. Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Miriam. Good morning, Tradeify Nation. I appreciate the solidarity of you guys wearing a white tee with me once a week. I mean, it feels good. It feels really like we're family, you know, on that special day, that special Wednesday. So I'm excited for today. As usual, I'm always excited, but today it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a mouse on. We have Tank on. We have a bunch of cool things going on. I had a banger London session, which I'm gonna break down my trade of. And as usual, let's kick off our stream with our one and only User slaying, NQ slaying, ES slaying, curly trader, matcha drinking, matcha mommy, huckle walking, stranger hugging. Good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Nick. Wow, it keeps getting better every single morning. I can't.
It's gonna take up half the show in a couple of months.
We're gonna need a whole segment just for that intro. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Tradeify Nation. I hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday morning or evening, depending on where you are. So far, and yeah, we got a packed day. We got a packed day, just like my co-hosts here have mentioned. We have a Moss coming on later on. We have Tank. We have just all sorts of things. It is Hump Day as well, and White Tea Wednesday. So just a packed day already. But we are excited to get started with you guys. We're going to break down that London session that Nick took a banger trade in, and we're hopefully going to get some good trades in today. So before we get into that, let's do the market wake up.
Nice. All right.
That doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Let's get into it. All right. So we are currently up 0.17% on NASDAQ from the market open. We opened at the 23,092 level. By the way, that long that I was in by the end of the stream yesterday, that didn't quite hit TP. That was actually here. TP was at 27. I actually closed it at 15 for plus 35 points. So it would have stopped me out after. So I'm happy I did that. Anyways, so we opened at 23,092. Consolidated for a bit at first, and then had a pretty nice move up, which has been kind of like a pattern the last couple trading days, that just a little bit of consolidation and then a nice move up during Asia session, and then the reversal during London. I mean, I've been talking about this trade for literally like the last week or 2 weeks, and I've taken it multiple times during these sessions. So it's always a pretty nice reversal play. I took that same play again today for 60 points, and the reason why I took it was, as I said, it happened during the other trading sessions in the last couple of days. And it's always nice that 10 a.m. Reversal, which is 4 a.m. EST, right? Which takes out the Asia high. The Asia high here is at 23,207. Takes out the Asia high and then moves lower. Unfortunately, I missed the first move. I actually wanted to enter it here at the 200s, but I didn't really get a setup for that. And then once we came down to the 160s, 170s, that is when I found my setup and took that short. My initial stop on this was the 200 level. So I actually had a 30-point stop and had a 2-to-1 risk to reward because I had a 60-point target. But once we made that retracement and had follow through to the downside here and close below the 160s, I actually moved my stop down to 182, which is right here, and then put me at a 12-point stop. And then once we made this new retracement high, I actually moved it to break even and ultimately ended up hitting TP. And I don't know, like yesterday, you guys all saw it. Like when the market opened, the New York session, I mean, I got they did me very dirty. I got stopped out break even, and then it would have hit my 50-point target. And today I did them dirty. Like I hit TP, immediately it reversed. So yeah, it goes both ways. It goes both ways, and that is why it's so incredibly important to not tilt when something like yesterday happens, because you're gonna fuck up everything, and then a day like today happens, and it's like, oh wait, it wouldn't even have been that bad. So that was a nice trade. Anybody caught it in the chat as well? Anybody who traded London session, let me know. Would be happy to see that. Right now, the next levels for today, I'm going to go on my 15-minute chart here. We do have a nice trend line, again, on NQ. Started on the 1st of August, second touch point literally yesterday at 8 p.m. And then third touch point today at 6:30 a.m., all Eastern. If that breaks to the downside, which I think it will, I definitely see us trading down to the lows of yesterday, which are sitting at, sorry, no, that's the low of Friday actually, which are sitting at 22,775 on NQ. So I definitely could see that move happening. If we go to the upside, we do have a trend line that has one touch point or like two touch points so far, which is why I have a dashed line. As soon as we have 3 touch points on that, I will make it a solid line. Just the way I work with trend lines. So if we break that to the upside, I mean, the levels that we have there are the previous day midpoint, which is an important level because we had these nice wicks here yesterday at 1:45 p.m. and 2 p.m. And then the next level above that is the previous week midpoint. So you see it here. It's also the monthly open, pretty much the exact same area. And then above that is the previous day high, currently sitting at 23. Not currently, it is sitting. It's not going to change at 23,404. But me personally, I'm bearish for today. I think we're going to move down. Might go higher first and then move down like we did yesterday. But let's see. So, Miriam, how is ES looking for today?
I'm loving your analysis because you pretty much said everything I wanted to say on the NASDAQ. If we go to my charts here, yeah, Nick pretty much broke it down pretty well. I'll touch on the NASDAQ before I go to ES, but yeah, we do, I mean, essentially on both futures right now, we are sitting in a squeeze, right? We have this nice downward trend line. These are both 1 hour charts of both ES and NASDAQ, ES on my right, NASDAQ on my left, and nice upward trend line. So we are kind of squeezing in this range, and this range really started all the way from, the end of July. So, what we're looking at here is a potential to break out of this, which, obviously at some point we will, right? But I agree with you, Nick. I think we have a little bit more downside to come in here on futures. And the reason being is because not only are we in the squeeze, so typically we do end up breaking out in some direction or another. It's just, we're seeing this we saw this really nice downward move from, end of July, right? July 30th, we had this nice push to the downside and continuation of it all the way to the 1st of August. So really a 2-day move to the downside that pretty much took out 2 weeks of price action. And, I think right now we're kind of setting up for a move either way, but I do think it's to the downside. Yesterday ES had a really nice move to the downside and then a retrace, about 50% of that move, and then another move to the downside. Now we're kind of sitting in the middle here, but you can see here we really held this low here on ES, right? And what I was looking for was us to actually get down to these lows here on Monday. So the lows are sitting at the 62.94. And essentially it's not the session lows, but we're talking about, the pre-market lows of ES, and then, break this demand zone and get down to the 62.80s. I think we have room to do that the rest of this week. Right now we have some resistance sitting on both sides. Essentially, we have this upside resistance sitting on ES at 63.63 all the way up to the 63.71, which is yesterday's high. So this right here is a 1 hour supply zone that we would need to break to the upside. But you can see here, nice flat top resistance that we see here at the 74 or 75 level. So really, we would have to break through not only this resistance, but a pretty key level that we haven't been able to break above ever since we've gotten this nice move to the downside. So that is something that I'm a little bit more hesitant to take. So again, unless we get above 63.75. I'm leaning more bearish on the day. To Nick's point, we might get a nice move to the upside and then, a reversal of that. Or we just completely start trending to the downside today. So I'm looking at that bearish setup for today. But again, any sort of bullish move would have to above 63.75 on ES, and then we can start looking at potentially hitting the 400s. And then for the downside moves, we're really squeezing right now. We do have, like I said, this trend line, but really it's going to be previous day low that we're looking at, and even pre-market low. The 63.15 area is going to be pretty key for us to break through. We really flirted with it yesterday. You could see we came down, we bounced right off of that level, and then we made a higher low. So we didn't quite get to that 63.15, and so I would be looking for us to break that area. Pre-market low sitting at 63.16 right now, but then we have this demand zone. We have this demand zone sitting at 63.05. So what I'd be looking for is a potential break. You could scalp this break, probably, that's a good 10-point move, 63.13 all the way down to 63.05. But then if you get a bounce here, any sort of reaction here, I would be considering a potential long, maybe even like a little bit of a relief bounce. And then, I think the rest of the week, we might even drift lower. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But if we break this demand zone sitting at 62.94 to the downside, I think we have some room to the 80s. The 80s were definitely in play last week. That's actually a short that we ended up taking in on Friday, I believe. Yeah, it was on Friday. So I had mentioned this 80 level as a key area for us to break to the downside. And then again, we still have these levels. So if we break 80, you have 63, 50, and then the 40s. And then 40s were actually the low of Friday. So if we break Friday's low, guys, we got a lot of room. So just be mindful of these levels to the downside. And then NASDAQ, same thing that Nick already mentioned. We're looking really between pre-market high right now and pre-market low, previous day low. So we have the pre-market high sitting here at 23,227. I think NASDAQ has a little bit more strength in it, but still kind of bearish on the day. Then we have this resistance area sitting at 6350, or I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep saying the 60s, 23,349. So 23,350. And then you have the 400s that we were looking at resistance yesterday. Actually, I remember Joey was on yesterday. We were talking about shorting this area. So you can see a nice supply zone sitting there currently. And so those are the areas I would be looking to target if we break this trend line. So looking for 23,252. And then you could probably ride that up to, 340. We really don't have much going on here, so I don't see much resistance up until this area. So that could be a nice play to the upside. Otherwise, I am looking for previous day low and pre-market low to break. This demand zone did hold pretty well in the or I guess that's the Asia session that we held it. But if we do break this demand zone, we do have room down to 22,900. So just keep that in mind. But Matt, why don't you walk us through oil and gold today?
Yeah, so I got a chart up here of the GC. Again, guys, the hourly chart is messy on the GC and has been really for quite some time. We're sitting right here at about 34.20. The problem is when we go to do any kind of trend lines here, we got a little bit of, that's a really badly drawn line. We got a little bit of resistance up here at 34.40, but the prior resistance was a little bit below that. Could potentially draw a little bit of a ascending trend line here, but that doesn't take this into account. This is a little messy when it comes to support. So it's not an easily digestible chart on the 1 hour. And for the rare times when I trade oil and gold, I need to see some really good trends, really good support and resistance on the 1 hour before I bring it down to a shorter time period. A little bit of a zone here on gold. We've basically been chopping between 34.10 and 34.40 for the majority of this week, going into last Friday, after this big bullish candle on Friday afternoon. So just it's you could trade the range a little bit, but again, for me, the rare times I take gold and oil trades are longer term trades. They're usually for at least a few hours. Sometimes if it's in my personal account, I'll swing it. But again, gold has not been the best trader so far this calendar year. So it's just not until we get a full on breakout or breakdown, not something I'm totally interested in. Now, when it comes to, we got to load this up here just a second. Now that's the NQ, my bad. When it comes to CL, we've sort of came out a little bit out of this channel here, right? This downward sloping channel that we've been in since last Friday, which unlike gold has actually shown really good support and resistance characteristics for pretty much the last several sessions, right? But we've kind of wandered out of that, and we didn't break out of it, and we didn't really give a false break out of it and move back into it. So right now we're a little bit in no man's land. I'm still taking the macro approach that oil is going to test the 64 level at some point in the coming weeks, and then make a decision if we're going higher or lower. I know the president brought up bringing oil prices down to force Russia to make concessions to Ukraine. There was a whole thing on that yesterday. Didn't appear to affect the market so much, except we did break a little bit out of this channel. But short term, very short term, is in kind of on the hourly to 4 hour chart. We definitely are in a little bit of a downtrending market in the CL. Now the Russell, very similar price action to the GC, just not a lot going on here unless you zoom in really tightly. So for me, again, I use the Russell as mostly an indicator of the appetite of risk. There's just not a lot there, guys. So again, for us momentum day traders, I think it's another day we're going to probably spend in the indexes looking for opportunities there. So that's what we're covering on oil and gold.
Nice.
All right. Did you see what just came out about Apple?
No.
I did see that. Yeah, Apple's going to do a big thing at the White House today. So we'll apparently
Apple to boost U.S. investment commitment by $100 billion.
Okay.
So Apple is up. Apple is up pre-market. I think around 1.3%.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trading Apple, that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right.
I'm curious about those because, and this isn't limited to the Trump administration, but for most of my trading adult life, as it were, we see things like this all the time, right? And I'm always curious what the follow through is in those. I read a report on this. This was during Trump's first term about when a company does something like what does that absolutely result in? And the answer is not much, right? I mean, we've seen that and again, I know we like to point fingers at this rather than forcing our representatives to actually make a change. But the auto industry has outsourced a ton of jobs. The tech industry is basically a completely outsourced group at this point. Until we do something that makes it cheaper to make things here, I'm curious to see what is this? What are they making? Is this their long rumored Apple car? Is this iPhones, iPad, what specifically are they making here? So we'll see what happens. I'll be curious to see what the follow through on this is. $100 billion is not going to be spent in 6 months, probably not going to be spent in 6 years. So what does that look like 5 years down the line? I will say Tim Cook has been a much more politically savvy CEO than his predecessor. He's more of a marketing appearances guy. So he's towed the line pretty well, playing both the left and the right over the last few years. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what comes of this. And if he's actually referred to as Tim Cook rather than Tim Apple today, that'll also be very interesting. So yeah, that could buoy the tech markets. There's a big event today apparently. So as whenever that happens to be, we'll have to. If we're on, we're gonna have to. I doubt we'll actually put that on, but we'll pay attention to it because Apple is a very, very big part of both the ES and the NQ and the indexes behind them. So we'll need to keep an eye on that as well.
Yep. We will see. How are you feeling, Matt, on the day? You didn't really mention. Are you feeling bearish or bullish?
You gotta put me on the spot like that, right? Like
I gotta get it clipped.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pull my trading view back up here. So on the 1 hour, this is interesting, and we have a really, really nice sort of pennant forming on the 1 hour here on the NQ, right? And this is something we've been doing our analysis on the NQ in much shorter time frames, which makes a lot of sense considering how chaotic things have been. However, we've had a few times this calendar year where the NQ has or the ES, the indexes in general, has really put in a nice pattern, a good solid technical pattern, and we're doing that right now. I think we are coiling up for a breakout rather than a breakdown. Is that coming today? I don't know. This may be, again, we're getting into the last gasps of the summer vacations now. I think we're settling into a more normal, whatever the hell that means in this market, right? But market movement and market action, and at least we're still dealing with the tariffs. If you told me in March we were still dealing with the tariffs in August, I'd probably punch something. But we are still dealing with the tariffs, and as long as, again, I don't even know. I think the last few months have borne this out. Again, it's the markets. The markets are not the economy, so forget like what the who pays the tariffs, where they go, forget all that, right? But the markets themselves just don't like uncertainty when it comes to something major like tariffs, and we're starting to see earnings be affected by this. A lot of tech earnings did not really meet expectations this cycle. We'll see what Nvidia does here in a couple of weeks, but to me, the markets have largely shrugged off all of that to continue to move to new all-time highs. And I think we're gonna make new all-time highs again in August. So I would be, maybe we do a false breakout below this little wedge pattern, this little pennant pattern. But I ultimately think, especially if we push hard over 200 to make another run at 300, I think that breaks us out of this pattern and puts us on a course back to probably to 24K by Labor Day. But we'll see. Again, if there's more failed negotiations, again, we're still waiting on a China deal. The common theme that we've seen with some of these tariff deals is that they all seem great on the surface, and when we dig into them, some of them do genuinely seem to work pretty well for all sides involved, and then there's some that don't. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this goes in the coming weeks and months. I think I speak for everyone in the market. It's like, I don't give a shit at this point what you do with the damn tariffs. Let's just get them into place and let's forget about it for a year or so. And so we can focus a little more on the Fed and interest rates. I think there's going to be a lot of talk and a lot of chatter of lowering rates heading into the September meeting. I think it was I don't remember if Bank of America and JC Morgan, one of the two yesterday, said they don't anticipate any rate cuts this year, but they anticipate many in 2026. Now, of course, Powell's term as chairman is up in, I think, in March of 26. So we'll probably get a much more aggressively, so, it's a vote, right? Everyone wants to blame Powell. It's not, he's a vote. But I think we're gonna see the Fed position to bow to the president's wishes of severely lowering interest rates, and I think we could line up then 20 economists that say that's the best thing in the world. We're roaring everything. We could line up 20 economists that tell us we're heading for the next Great Depression. But the markets just hate uncertainty, and so if we can just get that out of the way, I think we'll be clear for a very bullish remainder of 2025.
All right, I just looked at the poll for today. It's surprising today. Actually, the Bears win. 40% bearish, 33% bullish, and 27% kangaroo.
Nice.
It could be that the guys who are usually bullish are just kangaroos today. So
yeah,
maybe that's why. But Bears are winning currently in the poll.
Kangaroo is another word for saying just barcode action, because we're just going to bounce in between levels. Is that
it's actually a pretty good animal for that.
Yeah, it really is, actually.
All right, well, we'll see what we get.
Bounces up and down and kicks you in the balls.
I don't know what kind of kangaroos you hang out with. But...
well, we don't have any kangaroos in Switzerland, but I heard they can be pretty aggressive, no?
In Australia, yeah, I'm sure. I don't know where else you would find kangaroos. I just know that
nowhere, just Australia.
Man,
probably the only cute animal that Australia hosts.
Yeah, that's actually facts. And koalas.
Yeah, that's true.
Cute.
Now they have a couple cute animals, but they also have like pretty much every single one of the devil's pets. So
yeah,
I don't
something
really
that'll try to rip your face off.
I don't really fancy going to Australia right now.
It's funny. Australia has been on my bucket list to go to, but for that reason, and it would take me like 2 days of travel just one way. But it's it's hard. It's a hard pass for me when I see the kind of animals and insects that they have. So yeah, I might need to kick that off my bucket list. But
well, I think if you're in a city, you're fine. It's just more like in the countryside.
You sure?
Yeah.
I just get an Airbnb and just didn't know that I had to share it with like a massive freaking spider in the corner.
Those social media posts are always so fun. It's like, my first time in Australia. What is this plate-sized spider that's in the front? And then all the responses from the Australians, no, it's a huntsman spider. They're friendly. They're really. Yeah. I don't give a shit if it's friendly. That's
They look real friendly to me.
Before it killed me.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I hear they do have the most beautiful beaches though, and
Yeah.
some beautiful people.
So now we
I
got to
don't know.
know, chat, who's from Australia? Let us know. We got to know now.
Love New. See, I've heard some great things about New Zealand too. So, and I know they're similar-ish, but yeah, I'd be interested. New Zealand has a lot of culture too, which I would be down for. Melbourne, okay, we got some people from Australia in here. Wait, I gotta know what time is it in Australia right now?
Late.
Right? That's what I think.
Are the huntsman spiders, are those the guys that hide in shoes and when you step in them you die?
Ah.
That one. So right now in Sydney it's 11 p.m.
Wow.
Okay.
There is a Christmas island. Am I seeing that right? Christmas Island in Australia. Okay. Very cool. You learn something new every day. Friendly, non-venomous. Spiders make food steak here. Oh God. All right, guys.
We have a bunch of people from Australia, huh?
I'm actually surprised to see that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Represent. Australia represent.
Pretty cool.
We are
cool.
international here at Tradeify TV.
Well, those are all the guys who picked the kangaroo in the poll.
Yeah. We know who to go to for, or we know where to go to get recommendations for places in Australia. Now I know.
Yeah.
I'll just ask chat.
Yeah, I think we can ask chat for many things.
Yeah, this is true.
So many different people in here. It's great.
That's awesome.
Speaking of that, so many people in here means also we could get the like count up a bit more. So if you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button really quick. Takes you 1 second to do, and also subscribe to the channel so you can actually participate in the chat and throw your suggestions our way. And talk shit. That's fine too.
That works too. All right. Well, yeah, we definitely are coiling up for some sort of move. It's going to be the downside. It's going to be the upside. I would say line in the sand for NASDAQ is going to be yesterday's low. You know, I think previous day low is going to be a pretty key area. In fact, I'm convinced, or feeling convinced, to say that if we do break previous day low on NQ, it'll actually be pretty weak. I would think weaker than ES. Even though ES has been kind of the weaker one lately, I do think the reaction of previous day low is going to be pretty significant. So if we do break previous day low, which we did in the Asia session here, but in the New York session, if we break it, I think we could see, I think we could potentially see 980. 983 would probably come into play. Break this area for sure. I mean, you're talking about a possible liquidation here. So that's going to be an area I'm going to be watching today. Let's see where we're sitting on VWAP as well. So VWAP is holding on NASDAQ currently on the 1 hour. ES is also holding. If I go to the 5 minute, yeah, we're holding VWAP. And we'll see. I like that we have the same trend line though. And Nick.
Yeah, all of us. Matt, you and I.
Yeah, well, when it's that obvious, you know.
When it's that obvious, it's almost too obvious, and then it doesn't work and fakes you out in both directions.
But is that what they want you to think? It's so obvious, it's too obvious.
And then it works because you think it's too obvious, but then it's not obvious.
Reverse psychology.
That is reverse psychology.
Yeah. It's just psychology.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
At that point, just psychology. Yeah.
True.
All right.
All right, guys. So we are about 26 and a half minutes from the New York Open. Moss is going to be joining us here in about 15-ish minutes. So we'll see how he's doing. But I saw on social media he's been killing it the last couple of weeks. So we'll ask how he's been maintaining a real good hot streak for a little while. And yeah, so we'll look forward to that. Also, guys, a reminder that Friday's show, we will at the last couple of hours of the show, we will be streaming the Great Halo competition, as 4 members of the Tradeify team will be taking on groups of 4 of our members here, and really looking forward to that. You guys literally do not know the shit talking that's going on behind the scenes. You're just getting a little bit of it. Little D-Gen's just giving you Brett is gonna just like I'm sure they'll win a lot. Maybe they lose. He's gonna shit talk the whole time. So I hope you all are ready for it.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I mean, I know Drew's like getting ready, warming up in the background already. He's been warming up for days. So you guys better watch out.
Also, keep in mind, Drew said he's gonna beat everybody's ass.
He really did. Yeah, he said all of you bums are he's gonna. Yeah, he's just gonna get the highest point and headshot everybody.
Yeah, Matt, we might get muted and kicked off the stream in a second. He did not say that, guys. He did not. Yeah. That's just background Nick.
He was just thinking it.
Background Nick says that. That's for sure.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, in fact, for 24 hours before, background Nick's just going to be wearing his cloak, sitting in a corner, like getting himself psyched up for it.
It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be Lightning. I've given away 25K Lightning funded accounts. So just if you guys think you can beat the team, then you're in for a treat. But they're pretty confident. So I wouldn't challenge too much.
Let's see. I kind of want to participate for shits and giggles, but I've literally never played that game. So.
I was gonna say, do you even play?
No, I've never played it. So I would just be ripped apart. I mean, I've played a ton of other games, but not Halo. So I don't know.
I mean, it is worth a shot. Yeah, I mean, I could try playing too. See how long I actually last.
We should do the host squad. That's what we should do.
What is it?
The host squad. You, Matt, and I.
The M&Ms.
That could be dangerous.
That could be very dangerous.
We're just all talking shit. We're not even playing.
We've never played it.
We won't discriminate. We'll shit talk everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, you mean Mary? I can't just watch a YouTube video and then I'm a pro? Like trading?
I mean, yeah.
No, not until you buy a $5,000 course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna buy a $5,000 Halo course then.
There you go.
Who's selling one, chat?
There's probably one out there somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
The gaming world is huge. It is huge. So I know nothing about gaming, but I just know it's a big one. It's a big industry.
Oh, that's for sure.
I want to know, is anyone in the chat actually participating in that? We might be too early to ask, but curious.
No, I think there's like 80 plus people already who signed up.
Yeah, there's
a lot of people signed up.
There's a lot of people in it.
It's going to be a lot of account giveaways. The Tradeify team better kills those, because otherwise it's going to be bad.
Living Like Chess is playing. So do you have any messages that we can relay to our team here, Living?
Oh, nice. Living Like Chess.
Glacier Trades. Halo brought me and my brothers together. Super Smash Bros. Tore us apart.
I haven't played any of the new Super Smash. I haven't played any of those since
I mean, the OG Super Smash Bros. That was so good.
Yeah. The Super Nintendo was my system. Like, when I was really coming, like I played the original Nintendo. I've owned a lot of the Nintendo systems, but that Super Nintendo was like when I was, like 10, 11, 12 and like prime, like early gaming years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, classic.
We're starting to peak out of that trend line here on NASDAQ. Let's see if anything's gonna happen.
Oh,
I'm still just a reminder, I'm still bearish for today. So I do personally think that we're gonna potentially move a bit higher, take out London highs, and then just drop flush.
Oh, I see the trend line that you have. Okay, yeah. I have a different trend line that's a lot further up, but
I have two.
Trend lines within trend lines. Trend
lines.
I mean, just draw enough trend lines. At some point, one is going to work.
That's what I say.
I watched a video many years ago of a guy who I know he's a stock day trader, and I know he's profitable because we have a mutual friend. But this guy, I'm not making this up, 28 moving averages on his charts.
Oh.
Yeah, I looked at it and I almost had a seizure, and I'm not epileptic, so it was pretty.
Like Picasso
laser tag up in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. But hey, I mean, whatever. Again, guys, and this is why we say on the show, like, I know people were like, when I ask, hey, what do you see here? And that's all fine and good. We'll talk through our trades. We'll talk a little bit about, you know, what we do and how we trade. Our guests will do the same. But ultimately, guys, it's like this guy consistently makes money doing this. I look at it and I think it's the most nuts thing I've ever seen, which just goes to show you, like, go find your setups and your system and gravitate towards the indicators that you like, right? Like I said, your first 6 months of trading should be learning a little about a lot and then gravitating towards those few things that really speak to you. For me, it was VWAP. VWAP is something that even when I'm not using it to initiate a trade, it's going to inform me of kind of where price action is. And, you know, if we're at a plus or minus 2 standard deviation or below or above it, that tells me that we're in an outlier price action. And so again, it's these little things that you develop, and there's certain things you'll gravitate towards throughout your career. So just, you know, don't be in a hurry to learn a little about a lot, and then, you know, gravitate towards the things that speak to you.
Absolutely.
Nick, you look deep in thought there, brother.
Yeah, you know what? I was just typing that damn banana peel in the chat.
Awesome.
Sometimes when I read, or like when I'm focused, I look really angry. And I saw comments about that in the chat before. People are like, "Why is Nick not smiling? Why is he always pissed?" Guys, that's just my resting face.
It's his RBF.
I'm not as angry as I look.
He's really not. He's a friendly dude, but yeah, he, like, you know, got that Russian skull.
Oh man. All right, we're how much? 20 minutes out? 19 minutes out of market open?
Jeffrey, I see your comment on Bookmap. I have global. I don't have global plus. So hopefully that helps. But you do need depending on what market you trade. I also have DX feed data on as well. So I pay for the global monthly, and then I pay for the data feed. DX feed specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you have a rhythmic feed from like a firm or someplace, that'll work as well.
Yeah.
They've expanded their connection possibilities. You can connect to them through a lot of different things. So, but again, their website's not the best, I'll be honest, in terms of answering a lot of your questions. So I would say pay for a monthly at whatever you think you may need. You can always upgrade, you can always downgrade. I will say they don't do a ton of sales, but they do. Like, I just upped for a year for Global Plus, and I think it was just a little over $500, which is a pretty good discount from their normal annual price. So, you know, again, it's one of those things, guys. I'm at the point in my career where if I want something, I get the annual. If it's you know, because most things are cheaper that way. Actually, July is when a lot of it came up, so I dropped a few grand on yearly fees, but then I don't have anything outside of, you know, extra things that I choose throughout the year. So, guys, once you get successful in trade, you're starting to make a little money, you're getting some payouts, make sure you set a chunk of that aside for things like that, because you may find a new tool you want to try, or an indicator, or something. I mean, don't go pay $500-600 for an indicator, but there's a lot of good indicators out there that people sell for $20, $30, $40 a month. Again, don't pay for an annual of something you've never tried, just to save a few bucks. Try something for a month, see if you like it. I'm still evolving as a trader. You know, even 11 years into this, I know my co-hosts are as well. So, you know, you never stop learning, you never stop evolving. So you should always be taking a few hours per month for what I call trader development time, which is, you know, watching YouTube videos, researching something new. There's not a whole lot new under the sun in trading, but, you know, somebody's got a new spin on an old idea is always helpful as well.
Yeah, constant learning. And especially like different sites. I mean, if you haven't experienced at least like 5 or 4 cycles in the market, like, you got some time to do, because that, I mean, the amount of cycles that we've been through and we've witnessed is just like every year feels like a different one, or, you know, at least every cycle. It doesn't even have to be every calendar year, but this is definitely a much different cycle than I'm used to trading compared to like 2022 or 2023. So yeah, lots of learning and still continuous learning, which is why I love it. That's why I love it.
Yeah, NGU's got a good point there. There are some YouTube streams of Bookmap to I would not recommend that for like if you're but just to see if it's something you're interested in and see how it looks visually. That's a good place to start. Again, you don't know what the latency is. And yeah, so just be careful with that. And I know Bookmap has a tendency to shut those streams down as well if it's not like somebody working for them, an affiliate. Just be careful with that. But yeah, I mean, watch it for a day or two, see if it's something that interests you. But no, the ability to switch when you want to, or zoom in or zoom out, or go check up and down for areas of liquidity, it's worth what you would pay for that. It's one of those things that has a little bit of an initial sticker shock, but it's a fully functional trading platform, so it's really not. It's not that outrageously priced.
Yeah. They actually do have their own free stream. It's just delayed. So
yeah, for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, ish, I guess. Yeah. But you can, you'd be able to see where all the sellers and buyers are sitting as well.
15 minutes to the New York Open. Looks like we're testing the +1 standard dev band in the NQ here. As Miriam pointed out, really nice bounce off of VWAP. Let's see, what was that? About this 8:15 Eastern candle. So let's see if we can push over this little area of pre-market resistance. 200 is on deck, guys, so we may need the open to punch through that if we're going to pop at the open.
I do want to point out too, this 222 area here on NASDAQ, it really is going to be a range, but it starts at this 222 and it does actually go to about like, call it like 237. But you can see here, this area has been pretty key for us, at least this week. I want to say even maybe last week a little bit, but I think on Monday when we had that nice rally in the open, it was a pretty key level on the NASDAQ. Let me just zoom out to the 1 hour. But yeah, you guys can see this area right here has been a pretty key area. Even in the pre-market right now, we kind of topped out at that area. I know, Nick, when you were in your trade yesterday, you were actually targeting this 222 level. So, if you don't have this level on your charts yet, I would put it up. Even a range, like I said, 222 to 237 would be like the range that I'd be looking for us to kind of find resistance at if you are long. But like I said, it really is going to be previous day low holding. You can see a nice reaction. I know obviously we broke it in the Asia session here, but nice hold of this area so far. So 23,100, 23,113, that's going to be very key for us to hold today. I think if we come back down here and we find reaction, I wouldn't look to necessarily short it right at the gate, but look for a reaction, because if we hold this, it's a possibility that we hold it and we just continue back up to the 220, 222s, 237s. So definitely going to be a range that we're sitting in between pre-market high and yesterday's low that I'll be looking for us to, possibly take a play on.
I do like it for a long right now, honestly. Pre-market
high?
No, I mean like pre-market open.
Got it. What would your target be?
I mean, just the highs here at 220s.
Okay.
I might take that.
Yeah, I think specifically NASDAQ is the one of the leading indices right now. So if you are trading ES, I would still be watching the NASDAQ. I mean, even yesterday, actually, I was watching it in the pre-market or the afternoon, because I did actually end up taking a SPX puts on this play here. There was a trend line that was really, really nice on ES. But you can see here, this is actually the play that I took. I took this break of this trend line. And I was hoping for this 315 area to come down. But you can see like right at this 23 area when we held, NASDAQ actually held the lows. That's exactly where it held the lows. If I go to the 5-minute here on the NASDAQ, this is why I say this level is very important, because you can see here right at this, actually it was right here. This is 11:50 a.m. Pacific. So I was actually looking at this area to break, but you can see a nice bounce at the lows here. And we didn't quite get the flush through 23 like I wanted on ES. So definitely reactionary. ES is following the NQ to an extent, as it usually is. But I would watch NASDAQ to lead in this case rather than ES. You know, and typically when NASDAQ gets a move, it tends to push ES towards a direction. So I think if NASDAQ is more bearish, watch ES for these levels to break as well.
All right, guys. So we are about 12 minutes to the New York Open. Yeah, we're resistance here right at about the 190 to 200 level in the NQ. That's also the +1 standard dev band, which runs basically from 187 up to about 196, with the actual +1 standard deviation sitting at about 190, 150. So we will keep an eye on that.
I've decided not to take it because we're like 10 minutes out from the market open.
We're also like 6 minutes from that like usually 5 minutes before we get a reaction. So
doesn't look like any major news today. I know we already had a Fed speaker this morning, and I imagine we'll have a few more. You know, they said if you ever want to get all the Fed guys together, just throw a bunch of microphones out there. They'll find them. Nobody likes to hear themselves talk more than the Fed crew. And that seems to be universal, man. It doesn't matter who appointed them. Doesn't matter if they're older or younger or what Fed they're managing. It's just like, you know, just run down like the old Route 66 with a microphone, and you'll pick up 10 or 12 of them by the time you get to New York.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we do have crude oil inventories at 7:30, so if anyone trades crude, just be mindful of that. The 10-year bond auction, these are not like major significant news. I'm just reading off like what we have so far. But yeah, Colin speaking later on today, and then we got Cook and Dolly. Man.
No Barker?
No Barker today. Barker ain't Barker.
He shorts the market every time he goes out there.
He really does.
No, seriously, like that was a thing. I don't know if it is anymore, but like that was a thing for a long time. Like every time this motherfucker got near a microphone, the market was down 0.5%. Crazy.
You should start selling the Barker indicator.
It was not much of an indicator. He talks, market goes down. That's and what's funny is I just know that because it's my newsfeed. I don't even know what the guy looks or sounds like. So I just imagine like with the comments I read, he just must be a really pleasant individual. Yes, I was being sarcastic with that.
Yeah. Hopefully people got that.
Yeah.
And we'll see. So Nick was eyeing along here for a minute, but would you still take it if we weren't so close to the open?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
But not now. Not now.
Not at the moment. Oh, I just realized I don't have my background chat up, guys. So if you guys have been talking to me in the background, my apologies.
The whole chat's been shit talking you all morning.
Oh my Lord.
Speaking of background, I also see Amaz getting ready for today's stream. So he's not going to come on right now, but still, chat. Let's already put a welcome Amaz in the chat, so that once he comes on, he's going to have a warm welcome. Mitchell trades done for the day. Caught this long on yes. Going back to bed. Nice. Congrats.
Oh wow.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, glad I didn't miss much. All right, we'll see. Yeah, squeezing in this range, guys. Don't diddle in the middle here. Just wait for these something to break, really. Whether it's previous day low, pre-market high, trend line. I would not be trying to put on a trade right here at the moment.
Nope, I'm glad I'm not in that long. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Me too. Flirting with VWAP here on ES.
Yeah, a little bit of a pullback here. Now, again, we got to be cautious. We're getting into that time where volume starts to pick up, and it's kind of been in a different time every morning. We've had like the 8:20 or 9:20 Eastern where things have, and then sometimes it's nothing until 9:28. So be careful if you're in anything right now. Nice bounce off this +1 standard deviation here in the NQ. So, all right, guys. Well, I hear him in the background, so I believe he's ready. We heard him there, so he should be good to go.
Let's see.
Yeah. Somebody wants to let us know.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Maybe.
Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes maybe
I love
right,
that.
guys. Well, Drew says he's ready, and if something's wrong, says it's completely on him. He takes full responsibility for it. So, with that in mind, guys, let's welcome it is Wednesday, so we're going to welcome our normal Wednesday guest. He is a fantastic trader. You can find him on social media. He'll give you the details on that in a second. The young man with a trading plan, Amos. Good morning, Amos. How you doing?
What about you guys? Doing great.
Okay.
Nice. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have one problem, Amos.
What's up?
It's YT Wednesday.
Oh,
Dang. You're fired, Amos.
You know, Amos. I got the Amos plant in the background, and you're not wearing a YT. Like, come on. Nah,
Amos,
you're good.
I was violent today. With
I thought it
me.
was a one-time thing, but
No, that's not
Next-
a one-time thing.
He
That's an
said
every
Next time.
time thing.
He's like,
Yeah,
oh,
as long-
this is
as long
a
as
thing
you
now.
As long as you keep trading the way you trade, you're good.
Oh, that's
Right.
great.
Just gotta keep delivering those bangers.
Well,
So,
Amos,
Amos, I saw on I think it was Twitter the other day. You've been on a nice little run these last few weeks. Talk about that.
Yeah. To be honest, I've been just focused on taking base hits, quick scalps in and out of the market, 1-to-1 risk to reward, and it's been I've been doing pretty good those past 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, great.
very good.
So-
I was gonna ask. Well, now that we're like only less than 5 minutes, I know you don't trade the first 30 minutes, or typically you don't. So, what would you be looking at on your charts here? Walk us through what you're seeing.
So right now, basically, I need this 4-hour candle to tell me who's in control of the market. So I'm looking at the opening price of this candle to tell me, okay, are we going to close bullish or are we going to close bearish on that candle? So I'm not going to try to fade who's in control of the market at the time that this candle will close. So I have two possible things that can happen. Basically, it's either we break out above that high and we close bullish. So I'll look for longs for potential continuation, or we start displacing down and we close bearish and I'll look for shorts. That's basically it. As simple as that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. The 1 hour close, or the 4 hour closes in about 30 minutes here. So makes sense why you don't trade the first 30 minutes, because you want to wait for that candle to close. But we'll see what we get. Matt, I'm sorry I cut you off earlier. I don't know if you were going to ask the same question as me, but go ahead.
It was the exact same question, even worded the same. So,
Like, I'm sorry to interrupt. I had the exact same question.
Yeah, it's fine. Just step all over me. It's cool. It is what it is.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. We are 3 minutes for the open, and you know what that means? It means it is time for the opening bell battle.
All right. I mean, you should say that on live too, Miriam.
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, right.
No one can hear what I say in the back.
She said, Nick, this intro wants me to beat you up.
Yeah.
You know,
What
I know a
y'all-
lot of traders out there charge for like a room or access or training, and I think we should charge like for premium access to the behind the scenes of the show. Like people can drop in and during the 20 minutes we're getting ready before the show, and all those little times in between when our mics aren't going out to the general broadcast. It would be
me rocking out to Backstreet Boys in the morning. And then being late to the stream because I'm too busy rocking out.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
All right, guys.
Hey, we have our first client already. Sean says he's paid for that, so that's good.
Hey.
Let's go.
Nice.
1 minute 26 seconds out of New York Open.
Let's see. ES a lot closer to its trend line here than the NQ, at least the one that I drew on the 30-minute. I believe actually this is a 1 hour trend line, but yeah, we're coming down to these 333s. So break 333s, we could potentially see 25s and then 15s.
Haven't seen that influx of volume yet.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't either. Interesting.
All right, 50 seconds to the open. Everyone check your orders. Make sure your orders are clear. If you're in a position, make sure you have a reasonable stop loss set. And let us get ready for hump day trading today on almost White Tea Wednesday.
Yeah. Not official White Tea Wednesday.
I'm sorry.
I was subtweeting him there. Hey, you come give the chat some banger trades today, and we don't give a shit what color shirt you wear. Yeah. All right, guys, we are 20 seconds from the New York Open, which means you know what time it is. Sorry, I'm catching up on the chat here. All right, yeah, okay, we already have a bunch of subscribers for our behind the scenes here, guys. All right, guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ding ding, motherfuckers, let's go.
What a count on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I wanted to stagger it a little bit just to mess with people.
Love it. Makes it more exciting.
Okay, so we're hopping a little bit here at the open. We make a run up to 200.
Let's see. I still like what I would prefer would be taking out the London highs, sitting at 23,227, and then dump it. That would be nice.
Breaking this trend line here on ES.
Yeah, well, we talk about dumping.
NASDAQ holding VWAP for now. Dumpy.
Dumpy.
There we go again.
NASDAQ holding here. ES holding this trend line for now.
Oh. Dumpy, not dumpy. Pumpy.
Dumpy psyche.
Pumpy psyche, I'm pumpy. Oh god.
I'm also just like what the hell?
Sounds like a Teletubbies.
What the hell did I get
trading
myself
show.
into here?
It does sound like a Teletubbies trading show.
Yeah.
Oh, so there are the 200s, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, London High at 227.
In theory.
In theory, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like ideally, I want to see this. Take out London High and then lower. But let's see if we get it.
ES definitely a lot weaker right now than NASDAQ. I would say cap it at 343 on ES, 344 if you guys are in shorts. Definitely the weaker of the two, but just be mindful of this 343 area. SPX no gap here, but I would be looking for this gap to the downside on SPX, which ES would have to break previous day low to fill that gap. But right now we are holding this trend line. Trying to test pre-market highs here on NASDAQ. Really nice test of VWAP at the open.
Yep. Let's see if we can take out the London High. That would be really nice.
Where's the London High at? I'm sorry, I missed that.
227.
Okay. Scattered liquidity on the board. Nothing that's jumping out.
220 is going to have some resistance here on NASDAQ. ES still looking weak. Rejecting VWAP. NASDAQ holding VWAP. Lots of divergence here between the two. This is where it gets tricky, guys. Where it gets tricky. because ES does want to move to the downside. Nasdaq's really trying to break out here to the upside.
We got to be patient.
Still rejecting this 220 area.
Be pretty devious for that head fake to the upside if we pull back down below the negative one or +1 standard dev band, which is sitting just below 200 at this point.
Pretty devious. Nasdaq has been on another one lately, so would you be shocked? Because I wouldn't be.
Let's see.
It's going to be the first 15 minutes for me to wait out.
Yeah, for me definitely as well.
Tapping into 220 again here. Let's see if we can clear pre-market highs on the Nasdaq. We only have about 8 points.
Yeah, we're coming close now. 222.
Not a lot of liquidity sitting there, so we could find the vol. If we find the volume, we'll blast through.
Yeah, let's not forget about that level from yesterday, the 250s. It's super important too. So,
Yeah.
All right, we did just take out the London high.
By
Thank
by
you.
like 1 tick.
Yeah, by like 1 tick, but that's like 1 point actually.
1 point, whatever.
At least 1 point. Not a tick, not just
1
a tick.
point and a tick. Okay.
I mean, just taking that London high out and now moving lower, that would be ideal for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if it's just by a point.
We got more liquidity stacked up there at the 225s. Tough.
Amos, you already full port degen 5 times by now, right?
Who's taking the most amount of trades here? Actually,
Me.
Miriam,
Yeah,
sure.
For sure, me.
She's first. Nick is a distant second. I'm a distant third.
Yeah, you might be surprised to hear that. I think it was Monday that I didn't take a single trade on the stream.
Yeah, crazy.
Wild.
well,
What was the max amount of trades you took? I remember one time you took like 10 trades.
It was probably more than that. I think I was just scalping left and right. I think it took like at least.
But that's when you made 10K.
Yeah. Oof, nice rejection so far. Dirty. Did him dirty.
Yeah, that was that clean London sweep there.
Wow, lots of selling pressure starting to come in here. That's wild.
That was clean. Anybody who took that London high sweep, congrats. Nice, Gabby.
Look at that opposing candle. Good Lord. They're just swiping everybody right now.
Wild. Yeah, look at
You get
Guys, be
liquidated.
careful
And
in
you
this.
get liquidated.
this.
And you get liquidated.
Yeah. And you blow an account. And you blow an account. And it's not funny, but it's funny because it's it's just like this is how that happens, guys. This is how it happens. You gotta be careful.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
We've all done it.
Now it's going to reverse right back to highs, isn't it?
Oh God.
Yeah, that's like in the earlier days, that is when I would have shorted at the 170s or so. And then I would get wrecked on that.
Yeah. 180 here trying to hold. Those
Yeah,
orders.
Moshan, that's exactly it. Stop profit and take loss.
Yeah.
Amas, Osteen is saying, Amas, I know you took that short. Did you take a short?
Not yet.
He's like,
16
what are you talking about?
in 13 seconds I will go.
13 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come?
Wait.
Well, I'll let you focus.
He's like, shut the fuck.
He's in now. He's in now.
Up,
Okay.
Nick.
No, I'm waiting for a pullback right now to 178.5. Could not have it, but I don't want to chase it.
ES looking weak here. I might consider a short, an early entry short here on ES.
Yeah. It is looking weak.
It did take out that low though, so not looking to get into shorts anymore. But that was kind of the same play I took one time on stream.
Oh, like the pre 30-minute close. But why did you say 13 seconds? Did you wait for 5 minute? 2 minute?
3 minute.
3 minutes.
3 minute. Yeah. Basically, just go on the 3 minute chart. Let's see if I take a look at my screen.
Yeah,
Usually, I have a level. Let's say this high is my key level, so it's the London high, and we have an area that I judge being strong enough to have a retracement in the market, so the London high. And then if we enter, if we go and sweep that liquidity aggressively by creating a fair value gap. A fair value gap is just a 3-candle pattern where the up wick of the first candle doesn't tap into the down wick of the third, which means that I can basically locate my buyers inside this small box right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I do. So for me, I just say to myself, all right, if we're truly bullish, we should hold this zone in order to create a new high. It's just in terms of volume, it's like this would be a low volume node basically. And usually what we see, it's either we bounce from the low volume node and we create new highs, or we just rip through them. And I want to see us rip through them usually after like a key level got swept.
All right.
I really hope we hold here, but ES looking real weak. I do want to.
You mentioned you want an early entry on ES. Like, what are you eyeing there?
I wanted more the 33 area. We did get up to like 31, but because I would have set my stop at the opening range high. Just want a little bit more of a retest here. See if we get it. Nasdaq's still holding VWAP. So
yeah, that 50-minute candle on Nasdaq looks very bearish right now.
Yeah, there's a battle going on here. That 160 level is just all over the place on the NQ. A little bit of liquidity at 40, 35, and 20, but not significant. Not a huge number there.
oh, great. I just got kicked out of my Tradeify. That's fun.
ILS, congrats. Took a short from 23,215 and exited at 23,164. That's a good, nice 50-pointer. Well done.
Okay.
That might be our 50-minute opening range. 228 to 148. I mean, we still got like 2 minutes to go, but it could very well be the range.
Checking that my Tradeify is set up here. There we go. All right, let's see. Some liquidity here at 23,187 on NQ. Want a little bit more juice here on ES to push us up. See if we can get up to the 30.
Bulls made their stand at 160. and they got to get it above 80.
Yeah, that will be our range. 48 seconds to go.
Yeah, what absolute shit first 3 5-minute candles.
All right, I'm trying this short here. I'm going to set my stop to opening range high, sitting at 39. I got filled at 63, 32, 25.
All right.
So hoping VWAP here acts as resistance here on ES. I want NASDAQ to also find resistance back at those highs.
All right, 50-minute opening range is established, sitting between 228 and 148.
No, tried that short. It's not looking like it's working out here. We need to find resistance here to push us back down. A better stop would be at the 44s, but not sure I want to take like a 10 plus point stop, even though the risk to reward would be there. Just not really sure if I want to do that.
What are you targeting on that trade?
Yes, I'm targeting 315. So I do want like a 15-point move out of this.
All right.
Nice rejection of VWAP so far in the opening range high on ES. I just want NASDAQ to push us down a little bit more. ES definitely the weaker one so far.
Mm-hmm. Which is good that you're in an ES short. Finally, not in NQ.
Yeah, we'll see if it works out, but so far rejecting VWAP. I do want to get us back down below the 33s though. NQ's trying to find support at the 92s. That's the thing with NASDAQ is like, you know, NASDAQ holding, and I said this before, is like NASDAQ's going to be the leader here. So if we hold this level, we will be, you know, pushing back to the upside, which is why I have my stop at the opening range high.
Let's see. It looks like it wants to go higher, but I'm leaning.
NASDAQ looking stronger. That's the thing. If NASDAQ's...
Yeah, NASDAQ is looking way stronger.
Yeah.
This feels like it could be one of those. It just wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to pick a direction.
Yeah. Make up your mind. Amaz, where would you ideally want to see that 1 hour candle close?
Good question. I would want to see it close inside the gap, so above this high right here. I don't want to see it reject this high.
There's a swipe.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to get taken out of this trade. All right, I'm going to get stopped out. Just got stopped out on that.
Amas, what level is that? Sorry.
It's 23,252.
Oh, okay.
So the 4-hour high. So
Oh yeah,
previous PM session high, basically.
yeah, the one from yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't like when I reject a higher time frame fair value gap, basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we really are holding these levels here. Nasdaq now breaking pre-market or pre-market high and opening range high.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't really trust ES until we can get back above 44.
And you're really struggling to make that secondary high now.
I was gonna say, if this does the same thing that it did yesterday, where we just get a quick look above and fail of this level, like same thing that happened yesterday.
I mean,
that'll be sad. Max,
yeah,
my shorts.
Yes, is struggling to push higher.
So is Nasdaq.
Yeah, it's back in the opening range now.
This is gonna do the same thing it did yesterday. All right, fair.
Yeah, this is price action where just nobody has a fucking clue. I've like, yeah, this is one of those you got to take, guys. If you've already like sniped in and out of a few trades and you're not finding anything, get your hand off the mouse. Seriously.
I'm gonna look for us to get down below opening range low here on ES. That is dirty. That is dirty.
Then 2 candles, you put in a new high and low within the New York session, and then immediately reversed.
I got taken out by 1 point. All right, I'll be watching for ES to clear opening range low here. Those rats.
Sons of bitches.
Nasdaq's the stronger one, though.
Mm-hmm. Not looking really strong, though, right now. Bloody rats, man. Yeah, TD Garage, that's exactly what's happening. They are watching us. So let's prank them. Let's just always move the stop by 2.5 points. Tell them it's at 250 and then set it at 252. Love it. But the problem is, TD Garage, Mario S is in the chat. Our own market maker. So.
Uh-oh. He's watching.
Yeah.
He's the one capitalizing on this like barcode we're getting right now.
Some people say they have their own personal market maker. We actually do.
And we literally do. Yeah.
He's like, psych. The S in Mario S stands for psych.
Psych. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck these markets. Seriously.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And now right back up.
Right back up above 200.
Roller coaster. Love it.
Scalp City. Yeah, if you're trading this range, this is for sure Scalp City, but
Gotta have some balls to do that, though.
I know.
Ride that market open. That's some dangerous territory.
Yeah, yeah. Wild.
Do, do, do.
225 is really stacked up here on NQ. Trying to fill those orders right now. And 230. All right, do we get this hold?
Gold is pushing pretty nicely right now.
Do we just play this range? Short it right here?
Nah.
No, because the one time you do that, it'll power up through it.
Right. That's exactly what will happen.
I don't really like it for a range play.
I don't like it for anything right now. This is just annoying.
Did it again, made another new high, and then immediately pulled back.
There's a seller with some big, you know what, at that level. All right, now we're holding above opening range. Just open that candle. But do we sustain it? Is the question.
Yeah. Apple is up pretty good today.
Yeah.
Apple is up 3.5%.
Probably what's helping this market right now.
Yeah, and Tesla is up 2% as well.
Oh my goodness. They are fighting here on Bookmaps.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's cool to see, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can somebody pull up Bookmap?
Wow. Here.
I actually want to see.
Yeah, there
This
it is.
is nuts. Look at this shit. I mean, and you guys can't hear, but I have my market pulse in the back that's just like going nuts right now. It basically shows like who the aggregate sellers and buyers are, and when it's pretty active, it makes like this I don't know, like a banging noise. I don't know how to explain it, but it's pretty active right now, which means that they are fighting at this level. You can see the stack liquidity sitting here. So we do need to clear like the 50s, the 45s. Earlier you saw like a massive push and then just like a drop. So there's clearly a seller sitting here that is trying to keep the market down.
I have a question, Miriam. So are you looking, let's say, at a level and then looking at Bookmap to see, oh, is that a regular order or is that really big? And if it's a really big order, then you expect a certain move to happen from that level?
Yeah, a lot of times the supply and resistance, or a supply and demand on Bookmaps aligns with the areas that I have already charted. So right now, for example, like if I go to ES, there'll probably be some orders sitting at the 45s, which exactly as I anticipated. And so right now on ES, like if I go back to my charts, you guys can see like flat top resistance sitting here at the 43s and 44s. So, you know, this is where I would expect like some, you know, initial reaction to, which we are getting. So, you know, it's nice to use it as a level of confluence when I'm looking at, you know, trading the market. But yeah, it's helpful in that way.
Interesting, actually.
Bodhi, I just saw the same. Oil actually had a huge spike right now. That's pretty crazy. Wait, let me pull that up here. Oily oil. There it is. Big spike. Was there any news on oil, Matt?
Not that I've seen, no.
Okay. Pretty big candle.
We got about 2 minutes left in this. I think we have some, not news, but it's, you know, the news I had mentioned earlier. That's not too significant. But if you're trading crude, I think there's crude news coming out as well. Crude inventories.
That might be why.
Yeah, somebody front running the numbers.
63.40 now, holding as resistance on ES. This can see right
So,
here.
Amos, the 1 hour candle is closing in 1 minute and 3 seconds. Anything you're looking at right now? Any
Yeah,
level?
if
potential entry?
it does close above 227, I will
Yep.
look for longs. If not,
Yep.
it's this could be a protected high for me.
All right.
Because I need that 15-minute candle to close, above that liquidity pool. So I can target this unfilled gap on the 4 hour.
Fair enough.
It looks like
Kind of like it for a potential short again. I just want to see opening range low get cleared here. I want to see VWAP also clear on the NASDAQ. We're taking this.
Yeah, like taking these trades right in the opening range is so ugly.
Yeah. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait.
Just gotta wait, yeah. Gotta be patient, like Coach Tank says.
Interesting close here on ES. Right at the 33s.
Okay.
Oh God, I really hope this is not what we get this session.
Yeah, this is looking a lot like, boy, I didn't expect to see as much barcoding this week as I did. I'll own that, because we talk about we're not in the prognostication business, et cetera, but coming into this week, I thought it would be a lot smoother than last week, just because of the last week had so much economic data, but I thought we would get some nice solid trends during the New York session, and right now it's been outside of the New York session where the trends have been the best and the most confirmable. So it's frustrating. I mean, it's very, very frustrating. I've looked. There's been 3 times I'm like, ooh, okay, this is it, and then nothing.
Yeah. And psych.
Yeah.
Turbo says time for karaoke.
Sometimes I sing when I'm just waiting and bored, or
when you're mad.
Yeah.
Fuck the market makers.
Fuck them, stopping me out because I think they're gonna dump this. I was tempted to short the 40s with a stop above the high, but we're gonna wait. We're gonna freaking wait, because with NASDAQ doing what it's doing, this is. But I do think ES wants to drop so bad. I can tell. She's like, please just let me go. Ooh, nice pop here.
Nice bump. Bam beat.
Right to this trend line here on the NQ. This is the 1 hour trend line that I mentioned in the pre-market.
So Amos, now we're in that 4 hour fair value gap, huh?
Yeah. So
there
let's
is
see.
next to no liquidity on the board right now.
Yeah, usually what I want to see, like when I have those gaps marked out, I want to see us entering aggressively inside of them, so I can basically locate my buyers and sellers. If I enter like super aggressively and inside a bearish zone, I want to see bullish fair value gap formed, so then I have my overall framework respected.
Let me tell you, they are slinging them today. They're just like, take this stop, take this stop. Like,
And you get a stop hit, and you get a stop hit.
yeah, this is nuts.
Well, they need money.
52s. Watch the 52s here on NQ.
Stealing everybody's lunch money today.
Rude.
So rude. Oil is dumping now. Holy moly. Big
He's
spike
40.
up and then dumping. That's what I wanted for NQ.
These 45s on ES are going to be key too.
Look at this, guys. Oil did it perfectly. Took the London highs and now dumping. Love it. Start trading oil more.
Oof. Getting this move here. Trying to break out of this trend line.
Hamas, how was your last trading week, by the way?
Last week of July.
Just like the last 7 days since the last time you were on.
Let's say, yeah, from the last time I was on, I did, basically what I'm doing right now is I'm doing exponential bet sizing, basically. So on the setups that I don't judge being A+, I don't enter with my full size. I read a lot about that and saw a lot of podcasts about that, but it's actually true. When you think about it, it's like, let's say you're playing poker or blackjack. Of course, trading is not the same thing, but you're not going to have the same hands every single time. And there's hands they're going to have that are way higher probability than others. So let's say if I look back at my data, then I have setups that are better than others. So I'm trying to bet more, size more on those really good setups. And unfortunately, I had like everything aligning together. So on Friday, last day of July, so 31st, and lost on my full size. So trying to get back on my feet. But yeah, so pretty much what I'm doing right now.
All right. Yeah, makes sense. What's your full size?
It's 1,200 per account.
Okay, so you calculate it based on the setup and then you take the amount of contracts for that.
Yeah, let's say it's a B setup. I would go in for $800 of risk.
Got it.
Or 700. But if it's an A+, then I could risk 1.2.
Understood.
And the thing is like I have a setup where it's 0.8 risk to reward, so it's negative risk to reward, which means that if I'm risking 1,200, I'm not making 1,200. So let's say if I lose it, it's not. It sets me back a little bit.
Yeah,
but the win rate is higher though. I prefer trading that way.
ES testing this trend line here on the 1 hour. NASDAQ above it, actually retested it here on this last candle. NASDAQ's strong today. NASDAQ's really strong today.
Now, yeah.
Well, even before, I mean, ES was trading below VWAP for the majority of the morning, and then, you got this nice hold of it. But NASDAQ has pretty much been above VWAP for quite some time.
Actually, a good question from Silvio here in the chat. Amas, how do you recognize it's a B setup, A setup, or A+ setup?
Really good question. The only way to know this information is if you have data, is if you have a lot of data in your journal, or you backtest it a lot. So that's basically it. So like let's say I have two main strategies that I'm playing, and if I look back at my data, one of them is most likely going to be better in terms of win rate. So if it has a higher win rate, then I could possibly bet more on that.
Makes sense.
But it's not as easy as people think. Like, especially when you have a low risk to reward, taking a full size loss. Let's say that's basically what happened to me. Like, I gave back possibly one whole week of profits in one trade. And it's hard on the mental, but you know, if you just think about the probabilities, you will still end up, if you keep doing this, you will end up more profitable in a sense.
Makes sense. So in that moment when you lost your trade, I know you're a very cool and calm guy, but in that moment when you lost that full size trade and you realized you just lost a week of profits, like, how did that feel?
It felt pretty bad because it's not like, if you see your balance going up, let's say pretty slowly, you know, and you take simple base hits, at a certain point when you're close to the payout, you're asking yourself, okay, am I going to keep doing this exponential bet sizing stuff even if I'm 2 trades away from the payout? You know, and this is basically what happened to me. Is like, I'm not too far away from the payout, and that, you know, set me back, which, you know, in the back of my head, I was like, should I you know, bet more even if I was close to the payout, or should I just you know, keep betting the same size just because I'm close to the payout? You know what I mean? So it was you know, it was hard for, you know, 20 minutes, but then it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was expecting that you say something like that, because you have your mental very well together. At least it seems like it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it definitely seems, but it's not always as easy, for sure.
Sorry, guys, I don't mean to interrupt. I did short this trend line here on ES. I'm only in one mini. So I'm having my stop above 55. Right now, it's currently sitting at 55.75. So I'm playing this trend line rejection on ES, and I'm going to see if we can actually get this. This is also the reason I'm looking at this, also the same area on NASDAQ that we rejected yesterday, a pretty decent area here on the 30 minutes. So I'm just looking for this ES to get us down potentially to VWAP, but my stop is about 5 points on this.
All right, nice.
6 points or so. It's only one mini.
Go get it.
See if NASDAQ rejects here. This will be key for NASDAQ as well. I really do want this opening range low, though. Let's see if we can get down there.
The 150s.
Yeah.
On NQ. What's the opening range low on ES?
63.27 and a quarter.
Right.
See some sellers sitting there at 351 on ES. So see if they can at least get down to VWAP. If NASDAQ closes this below the trend line, I think this could still look good. You guys
So
can see
far
here.
it's looking nice. You got a pretty sick entry on that.
I was trying to actually get the right at the trend line, but yeah, I'll be okay with that. I'm happy with it. Try to hold this one. I think if NASDAQ gets back below its opening range high, this could sell. So I'll be monitoring that.
Hey Amas, Trader King is saying I need $400 to fund the account, which I got from Amas. I think he won that in a giveaway from you.
Raider King, yeah, he did.
Nice.
Good. Well
He
done.
did. Wait, he made $400?
Now he needs 400 more to get the funded account.
Oh, okay. Was it a growth or an advanced?
I have no idea.
Your short it looks really good actually, Miriam.
I want to see if I want to see if this opening range high on Nasdaq can break. Because if we hold that, this could also hold right here. So this is where I'm looking for Nasdaq to break down.
Yeah, if you get this flush, like this entry was a banger, Miriam.
Hoping so.
Lean.
Yeah, it might have been the one clean short move of the.
Literally. We'll see.
It was Amas. It was a 50K growth. Trader King is saying.
That's good.
All right. I'm gonna move my
Like how
stop
the-
to break even here.
I like how that 15-minute closed, actually.
Yeah, we're about 10 points in profit here, but we're trying to test this opening range here on Nasdaq. Still holding opening range on ES as well. So I just moved my stop to a little below a little into break even, so a little in profits here. I want to see us flush through continuation here. VWAP and opening range high is holding on ES though, so we do need a flush here.
Vishnu said thanks for that short, Miriam, but he said thanks, macho mommy.
That's my husband. You're talking about my husband, so not sure if he has taken this trade as well, but we'll see.
Vishnu is matcha mommy. Did you have your matcha today?
I did not yet. Still waiting. I said waiting on it, and I'm looking straight at the camera like, hubby, if you feel inclined, please bring me a matcha.
It's not asking for it. She's giving you an order. So
I'm
move
not
your
asking.
ass to the kitchen.
Oh, man. All right, let's see if we get this move down. NASDAQ rejecting its opening range high here, so let's see if we get the flush.
Very nice.
I took like a third of my size on this play, so I'm trying to make back this loss that I took earlier. What a clean trend line rejection though on ES. Look at this, guys. This was like you can't ask for a cleaner rejection on a day like this.
Yeah, it looks very clean.
Hopefully
Could
we
have
get
taken the same on NQ technically.
my trend line on NQ was a little bit higher, but
Yeah.
ES just the weaker one today. I'd rather short ES and long NASDAQ.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just move my stop to 45. See, they could try to hold it here. This is where they need to dump it. If they completely take out opening range low on these, I will add to this position. I will add to this position. Just don't want to see them hold VWAP here. This is literally where VWAP and opening range is on ES. If I was in multiple contracts right now, I would have scaled out. But I'm only in one, so
risk it for the biscuit.
At this point, it's not invalidating it, so it's still below the 44s, which is why I moved my stop to 45.75. You guys can see here still this flat top resistance sitting here at the 40, call it like, I'm gonna say 44s, but it's really like 43s. So I do want to see us still reject this. NASDAQ also still trying to reject its opening range high, but I do want to see the next 5-minute open below the opening range. We have some buyers on Bookmaps also sitting at the 35s. Here on ES, you could see here some liquidity. And then we have the 33s. The 33s are going to be key. 33s are going to be very key, not just on Bookmaps, but that's a level that I've had for quite some time as well. You guys can see I've had it on my charts here.
I want to jump in shorts if we can close bearish on that 30-minute candle. That will look pretty good.
So we did open right below the opening range here on both futures. ES is still struggling at VWAP, but let's see if we can get the flush here. Let's look at Bookmaps. I'll show you Bookmaps real quick. This 35 here is really what I'm looking for us to clear, and then 33. Right now you can see that level at 44 though, holding for liquidity. Still struggling here. Still struggling. This could be a little bit of a retest, what am I trying to get? A bear flag. If I go down to the 2-minute, yeah, a little bit of a bear flag here.
Yeah, I think a retracement here is still pretty healthy.
Yeah.
It would not. On the 5 though, it looks like he wants to pull back.
Getting a lot of selling pressure coming in here on Bookmaps. NASDAQ, right at the 200s here. We need a clear 200. Let's see if we can clear these 33s here on Bookmaps.
Very nice trade, Mary. 15 points on ES so far, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Good job. It was a really good trade, actually.
This is the one I really should have sized up on. Not the first one, but it's okay. All right, I want to see these 33s clear. These 33s really need to clear here. NASDAQ kind of flirting with VWAP as well. Got down to the 200s. It's going to be a battle for sure. Come on, you rats. Break it.
Yeah, that's a huge level, actually. That's the open of that 1 hour candle.
Yeah, this trade might flirt with me a little bit before we get these. I want these lows. I want these lows right here. Or you guys can't even see that. I want these lows right here. And I want NASDAQ to break VWAP with vengeance.
With vengeance. I'm Batman.
Let me see you bleed. Let's do it. Let's go get the flush, cleared those orders. Do it. 30s next. I want to see the 30s clear. All right, there we go. Getting that push down. Those orders are getting cleared here on Bookmaps. Nice. 25s are next. Let's see if this 27 can break here. Nice. Come on, give me the flush. VWAP testing here on NASDAQ as well. I want to see them clear this. I'm moving my stop to 42, the 40s here. Come on, clear it. Let's go.
Very nice. Let's
Really
go.
good. Come on.
Now we need continuation. I want to see continuation here. I wanted to add, but I'm just going to let this run at this point.
That looks good.
Banger trade, Miriam. Golf clap.
Thank you. I'm going to hold this. I'm holding this. I'm going to move my stop to just 39. Nothing crazy. But that would give me a 10-point profit on this play. We need to clear this area here. I don't want to see them bouncing at opening range low. I want to see this next candle open below that. So we have about 16 seconds. If these rats push this back up to the 33s, I'm getting out of this trade. I want to see NASDAQ really hold also below VWAP here. You guys can see right at VWAP flirting with it. All right, we did open right below VWAP. We opened right above this opening range low on ES though. So I want to see this clear. Let's go. This is what's so great about ES though, is like you can trade one mini and make back your whole profit on the day. I mean, this game isn't over yet, but this is why I say like ES, like you don't need a big stop, you don't need a lot of size, and you can make some good profit on ES. I want to see this flush here. Opening range low. Let's clear that. And then NASDAQ clearing opening range low will send ES down.
Hey, Edwin Rods, big W, 150k eval passed on that dump. Congrats, nice. Very nice. Matt, anything you're seeing? Wait, you're gone. We can't hear you.
Oh no, I haven't Matt.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I had to mute. My dog is whining upstairs. I was trying to get him to
fired.
come down here, so I was yelling at him.
Tired. Love it. So, what was your answer?
No, I'm just watching Miriam print the dollars here.
Nice, Miriam the ATM. Oh, that's a new one for your outro. ATM, the human ATM.
That's funny.
It's funny.
Flirting with opening range low here on ES. I think NASDAQ really needs to get the push here down below. ES clearing 27 will definitely get us. I think previous day close is also flirting with the, we're flirting with the 25s right now. The 25s are really the key area. We need to close below here. So I want to see us get this flush. I don't want to see us hold here.
I mean, you're riding this to all-time lows, right?
Obviously, yeah, per usual. All right, getting some resistance here at the 27s. 25 still have some buyers sitting there, and then 23s, and then we have the 20s. I like this as long as NASDAQ stays below VWAP as well.
NASDAQ on the 1 minute is forming a nice bear flag, so it looks good for more downside.
I'm just going to hold this.
How you feeling over there, Amos?
I want to look for possible shorts here, actually, on the pullback to this 5-minute breaker, actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna join Miriam.
Let's go. Maybe if we're all short, then it'll really work out. We don't even need marbles for that. Wow, they are battling here. I think they could try to possibly retest the 33s. I have my stop at the 39s though, which is essentially at opening range high. So obviously that would invalidate this trade, which is why I have it there. But if we do hold this, we could retest 33s and then possibly get another leg down. Don't want to see that. It's not ideal. I do want to see them flush it here, but they are fighting. You guys can see they're fighting here. Because they know if they lose this level, it's going down. NASDAQ also, I just realized NASDAQ is trying to hold its open, which is sitting at 23,169.
NASDAQ.
$10.30 candle might be something we look for here. $33s are rejecting here so far on ES. Trying to reject this trend line here. Let's see. I want to see the flush. All right. Well, while we sit in this trade, Moss, anything you see here currently? Or anything you're looking
I wanted to see a pullback to. I wanted to see really if we could close below that open perfectly before entering, and then as soon as we close, we dump. So looking for a small pullback here, if we can.
All right.
All right, so I just got tagged in shorts here.
Well, hopefully this works out for both of us.
Hopefully.
All right.
33 is being tested here on ES. They need to reject it here. What's your target on these, Amas?
It's I'm not in heavy, so I would like to have 105, so 23 105. I think we have some room for the downside, just how we closed on that 30-minute chart. So either we get squeezed here or we actually pretty much dump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking for shorts as well on NQ.
It's like it's basically a huge spot on this 1 hour chart. If we can start closing below the opening price on that 1 hour chart, then it will start pushing down aggressively and possibly close below all those lows. It's pretty early, but that's why I'm entering super light.
Yeah, I think as long as the 33s reject here on ES, I think this still looks good to the downside.
Yeah, this is starting to look good for shorts.
Jump in, Nick. Come on.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna jump in as well. I am jumping in as well.
Maybe our first trade that everyone will be in the same direction, I guess.
I know, right? I
Maybe we
know.
want to go long just to mess with you.
Oh no! Don't do that.
Just all faded you. Yeah.
Man, they are flirting with this area here. VWAP still holding on NASDAQ. I'm still keeping my stop at 39.
I have mine at 1350.
Okay, you're in
Stop.
as well.
Yeah, I'm in.
Nice. All right, let's ride.
Let's ride. Let's do it.
I want to know in the chat who else is in a short right now.
Not looking too hot for my short though. Mas, where do you have your stop, Mas, for the short?
I have a tight stop, usually compared to my other trades, but it's at 236.5. If we go back above the buy side liquidity, so the level which is 227,
Yeah,
it's gonna be too deep of a retracement. I would want to see us, reject right here at the opening price. It's like the level that if we can hold, distribution is gonna be bearish. So
fair
I'm not a
enough.
fan of that last 5-minute candle here on ES, but still holding below my stop for now. So just need to see this
Yeah,
continue.
I almost got stopped down on this. Still in though.
What's your stop at?
1350 on NQ. Let's see. Really need to hold that 210 level. All right, let's just get stopped out on that.
Don't do it, you rats.
that 5-minute right here is huge level. Almost our last line of defense here.
This is my line of defense here. I do have my stop above, but this is really where they need to stomp on these buyers. Otherwise, holding opening range low, and we're just sitting in this stupid range. Brats, they stopped me out. All right, I'm out of that trade.
We all got stopped out? Damn it.
Damn.
Something come out? Is there news?
I don't see anything, no.
A lot of buying pressure coming in here on Bookmaps.
That's crazy.
Oh. It is what it is. Yeah, massive candle here. Not sure where that's from.
All right, well, Amos, our time with you has ended for today. We thank you as always. So, anything you're seeing maybe setting up on the long side now that we've reversed, or are you just going to kind of wait for the next candle closure?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I think we are inside a huge accumulation right now. I would just mark out my range high, my range low here, and wait for either one of them to break out or reject the high or low and close back inside the range on the time frame that I'm looking at, either the 15, the 30, or the 1 hour chart. So yeah, we're in a chop right now. So
okay. All right. Well, thanks for being with us, Amos. You can find Amos on here on YouTube. You can find him on Twitter. You want to give your YouTube handle here, Amos?
yeah, it's Amos PFT.
Amos PFT. All right. Well, we appreciate your time. We'll see you next week.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amos.
Yeah,
I
Mas.
guess. See ya.
All
right.
All right.
Hi, what a day.
Absolutely.
Not a fun day to trade.
Absolutely. So, guys, in just a couple of minutes, we are going to be joined by Coach Tank. Now we're doing a little something different with Coach Tank on the show going forward. So because he's doing his master classes, because he's doing some other long form content for us here at Tradeify, and he's obviously is still working with our ever expanding group of live traders as well. So we're going to have him kind of come on and maybe talk to us a little bit more about our trading or see what he's seeing on the charts. We're still going to hit some of his expertise and some of his specialty, but we really want to kind of be looking at things in real time. And he can, it's probably going to be a little bit of a segment of him just sitting here and telling us how bad we fucked up that particular day. So, we'll kind of go from there. So as soon as they let me know in the background that he is ready, we will bring him on. Okay, we are good to go. Boy, Drew works fast in the background, man. Let's get a W for Drew in the chat, man. Producer Drew just kicks ass every single day.
Let's not get a W. Let's get a Drew.
All right, guys. So it is time to bring on the most dapper man here at Tradeify. He is already got a button undone, and he is ready to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our coach for live traders here at Tradeify, Coach Tank.
Morning,
Coach.
Tank.
Good morning.
Well, afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, morning your end. Good afternoon all. How you well?
Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Enjoying the show so far.
That's good.
I have had a few sessions today. I actually had a session finish 6 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all been good. Nick, lovely haircut, very fresh.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very 1940s Berlin, I think.
Wow.
Very specific.
Okay. Thank you, I guess.
But
That was hilarious.
Wow.
Very Hitler-esque.
Don't say.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in for another edition of
But no, it's really nice to see you all. It's interesting actually. Yeah, while I'm doing my preparations, while I'm talking to people, I often have you guys on in the background. It's interesting. It's interesting to sort of see how you're bouncing off each other, and I don't know. You guys got into a few things today. I noticed.
Yep.
And
you said that like a disapproving parent.
I guess what I was interested in, and I don't know if the rest of the people on the show also do or don't. Why does nobody really trade the Russell?
Great question.
That's a good question.
Don't really know how to answer that.
Because, often when you see a potential short opportunity, probably more often than not, the one that is doing the worst is the Russell. I mean, if just now, I was having a look through ES. I was having a look through the Dow, S&P, obviously NQ, and NQ was the strongest. So to consider a short in NQ, I was thinking, have a look at the Russell, and the Russell's just been on his way down all day, all morning for me, and all afternoon. So it's interesting to sort of, I was just curious as to why maybe the Russell's kind of parked on the shelf a little bit, but it's the sort of thing that that I'd always look to check, because for me they are cousins. Dow, Russell, Nasdaq, S&P, they're all cousins. So for me, if we're looking to basically short one of them, have a look at the rest of the family, because one might be a better short in my opinion. And today for me, the Russell throughout London session and then at the start of your session is just, if you have a look at the Russell on the 5-minute chart today, he's just been down the whole day. So it was interesting because when I heard everyone talking about shorts, I was thinking why nobody decided to bring up the Russell, but nobody really trades it, and you're not sure why. Just not so popular.
I think it's exactly what Chris Lee in the chat said. Russell is the old guy in the back. We only know his name, not much else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to, and that's exactly right. And if you want to bet against the old guy dying, he's going to die first. So,
That's
so-
great.
and that's the thing. Often you'll see NQ pushing strongest when everything's strong. NQ is the strongest, and then often when everything's looking bearish, Russell tends to be the weakest. So you'd maybe have a look at it in that sense. It's quite interesting, actually. Sort of movement you get on Russell seems to be relatively clean again, because it kind of just goes, I guess, in the background, which is quite nice sometimes if you're looking to just trade with a bit of momentum and a cleaner trend. But yeah, I have come on to as Matt said, today's going to be a little bit more chart centric, a little bit more trade centric. As you all know, I do trade, and I am going to get today. I'm going to get an account with Tradeify from the risk guys.
Ooh.
But the idea is yeah, I'm going to go through some of the things that I've looked at today. I've started to open myself up to trade in US equities, by the way. So
Nice.
I had a little trade on the Dow on Tuesday. So we'll have a look at that. FTSE as well, of course. I want to talk about a few technical things because it's important. I think that, you know, we're not just talking about trades, but talking about the technicalities behind trades. So every trade is learning to some extent. That's the idea. But yeah, we'll have a look at a few things. It's interesting also, you know, Matt, you were saying, for instance, about interest rates and, you know, cutting and then pandering to Trump. And, you know, generally, I mean, I hope everybody's aware why Trump wants interest rates cut. Same thing happened when he came in 2016, that, you know, a lower interest rate, you cut interest rates, you tend to see there's a more higher possibility of QE, and generally it's going to weaken a dollar. And quite simply, if you had a weaker dollar, Ford pickup trucks become cheaper. So in order to try and stimulate purchasing of US goods, he could make other goods expensive, which is what he did with tariffs. In addition to that, he could make US goods cheaper. And the only way you make US goods cheaper is by reducing the value of the dollar. So international clients see pickup trucks, Ford pickup trucks, as cheaper. So if a company needed to restock their pickup trucks, for instance, or their fleet of vans, they could either go Mitsubishis from Japan or they can go Fords from the US. They'll go Fords if the dollar's cheaper. So that's another thing. That's another reason. You've got to try and understand why he's doing things. And, you know, for him, it will stimulate the purchasing of US goods if the dollar's cheaper. The only issue there is that small businesses in the US that require buying, importing, have less power because their dollar is weaker. So it's a bit tricky, but that's essentially what's been happening. And I saw, Matt, you mentioned about Matt's not even there, is he?
No, I'm not here, but
he mentioned about you know, say when you make profits when you start out trading, put some aside so that when you need to make purchases, you're not going into your sort of salary or your bank account, you're taking it from your trading winnings. It's really, really important. I mean, just like any business, you know, if you're renting properties, you don't then, you know, you keep some of the rent for the end of the year when you need to renovate a house. Or if you're in a business, you keep some of the profits to then improve the business at the end of the year. You know, buy new chairs for a restaurant or whatever it might be, a new cooker, this sort of thing. Same thing applies to our trading. So put some aside so that when you need to upgrade, you know, you can do so easily. And a good way to do that also is trial things, as he said, for a month. But if you want to purchase something for a year, Black Friday is a great opportunity for that. Okay, so a lot of these online softwares, a lot of these online purchases are made a lot cheaper if you look at their deals and things like Black Friday. What's the cyber thing called? There's a cyber deal, isn't there, as well? You can buy things on the cheap. Do that also, guys, yeah, because that's obviously where you're going to be able to buy a lot more for a lot less. So it's a really good point. Final thing I wanted to just mention, just from the session I was watching, was Miriam talking about how long it will take her to get from LA to Sydney.
Literally
It's
almost
something
2
that
days.
it's something that a lot of people forget, because we look at a world map and Los Angeles is on the far left and Australia is on the far right. However, if you connected that on a globe, if you connected it on a globe, you'll actually find. I'm going to show you.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
It's often a big misconception, actually, this one, but I thought it's quite interesting. Share my screen. Share this entire window. Entire screen. Right. So actually, you look at it like this, you're a lot closer to you're a lot closer to there you go. Can we see that? Just about. Yeah, so instead of going right and going all the way across the screen, you just go left, and it's 15-hour direct flight to Sydney from Los Angeles. Oh, you're muted, I think. Have I muted you?
I was muted, but I was saying, thank God I'm not flying the plane. But yeah, I don't know why it takes so long. I've already checked.
You would have come out of your driveway and turned right instead of turning left, and you know what? Australia's just there on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
In other news, Miriam will be on location in Sydney next week for the shows.
I hope so. Yeah, you might see like some spiders behind me, but
oh god, yeah, you don't
fine.
need to get
It'll be
involved
fine.
there. It's cold. It's cold in Sydney at the moment. 10 degrees. Okay, it's their winter at the moment. So Sydney, Bondi Beach, it's 10 degrees. It's cold. You're not.
Oh
All the little
my,
insects are dead. It's their winter time at the moment in Australia.
that is crazy.
Yeah, so you definitely don't want to go there. So this was just me looking at Russell, by the way, today. But I'm going to show you a couple of technical things that I looked at that I've been taken through now, and this was one of them. So very simple setup here on now. I'm not trading the opening candle, okay, because I think I've seen too many dummy passes on the opening candles at the moment. And here's the opening candle of Dow. This is you can see this on Monday. Here's your opening candle, but there's a perfect high there. It's just a 5-minute level. And my session actually, my masterclass tomorrow is going to be really going to be focused around technicals of supply and demand zones and
Nice.
support and resistance levels, and just having clarity of thought and clarity of evidence behind your entry, stop loss, and target. Yeah, so nothing is guessed, everything is calculated. So for here, very simple. You had potential open through this high, a stop loss behind this low, and targeting the 5-minute level to the left, obtained from here. So this information here, we can see it's a relevant level. Okay, support, broke it, resistance, most recently resistance. So clearly a relevant level. So if you were going to trade, you need to trade to that level, or you could trade through that level. Yeah, to hold a position through it is not ideal. You want to trade to it or from the other side. And here was the example. Okay, so all I had was markets potentially making its way up throughout the night, throughout the morning. We had a potential opening candle there. I was never going to get in the opening candle, wait for it to close, put an order in just above here. It could reverse, who knows? You've got a stop loss there, perfect level. Very, very simple trade. For me, 1.5, that's the top end of my risk to reward ratios. So I was very happy to take something like this. And again, just perfect for me, okay, because it's through my afternoon on Monday. I was relatively busy, okay, so it's a perfect situation for me to be able to place an order and disappear. And there was no management in this, actually. I didn't even get time to trail a stop loss. Normally, you would probably trail a stop loss behind each of these swings. So each of these swings, you could trail a stop loss. So I heard you talking about some chap with over 20 moving averages on their chart.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It was a mess.
I've kind of said that, a lot of people that put too many indicators on their chart, I think, are just trying to get a bit of attention while they're in the gym or in the library, because I genuinely think there's a thing called analysis paralysis. You've heard about it. You have if you chuck too many ingredients into a pot, it's going to end up tasting like shit. So for me, I try and use very simple ingredients, but try and use them well. But in this instance, what one of my first trades on Dow Jones in a while, and yeah, happy that we just went to target. And what I'm also happy about, something to learn, guys, it's really important to always learn from your trades, is the fact that we rejected off this level here, and the fact that we rejected off it again there proves that my target was a smart target. Okay, it's very simple. It was a smart target. Therefore, when I look to trade again in the future, essentially I'm going to think, okay, well, take the level into account because it clearly was relevant in this instant. Okay, guys, all technical analysis is, I think I might mention this before, all we're doing is studying past price movements to try and essentially work out what's going to happen in the future. Okay, that's all it is. You know, if the market respected this level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times out of the 6 interactions, so in the past 6 interactions, this level was respected by the market, broke it once, but respected it 5 times, the odds are it will respect it again should we come to that level again, and that's exactly what happened. And then odds are it should respect it again, and it did. Odds are it should again, but it broke. There's always a probable outcome and a possible outcome. Something's probably going to happen, something possibly could happen. Generally, we set ourselves up to trade the probable. That's the highest outcome, highest percentage outcome. Okay, so please try and understand that. It's a very simple philosophy when you're looking to do technical analysis, and that's to basically work out what's probably going to happen against what's possibly going to happen. This is kind of what has happened now at the moment. A little bit messy gold at the moment. However, again, something that I know a lot of you may refer to, but you don't particularly trade all that much. For me, it seems relatively clean, the moves in gold at the moment. Okay, look at this. We just made from early doors today. We've just made really clean higher highs and higher lows. The open, or US Open, was here, bit of a nothing candle, which is perfect, and then off we went, and away we went to the races. So, you know, try and identify if you're not finding trends, if you're not, you know, kangaroos you referred to. That's where the whole Australia thing came from, wasn't it? I just remember.
Yeah.
A kangaroo market, indeed. Yeah, kangaroos are assholes, by the way. So, just, you know. So too are koala bears. Everyone thinks they're cute, but they're awful.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh my God, you're hurting my dreams here.
Koala bear gouge your eyes out. So, I think you know, if you're finding the markets that you generally go to are sideways, you know, you either go for a shop, you go for a long walk. One of the live traders this week asked me whether it's possible for us to lock them out of their account during the open and for an hour after the open. And I said, well, no. I said, but why? And he said, well, because that's when awful things happen. He does awful things in that window. You know, he just wants to get in, and he knows it's gonna fail. So he asked whether we can lock him out. Unfortunately, we can't do that. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're probably going to be making a mistake, go and do some house admin. Go and put a wash on. You know, go and get the whites on. Go and empty the dishwasher. Go and do the shop that you needed to do. Go to the grocery store. That's what you guys call it, grocery store. So, you know, do these little menial tasks in situations where you might potentially make a mistake, and that's when the market is kangarooing, going sideways. But also, if you fancy, guys, use your skills on another market. Look at gold. Gold has just been very, very clean, and you could apply the same trend trading skills on the gold market that you would normally do on your normal market. So, I think it's worth just having a look in that sense, and you know, spreading yourself out a little bit. I don't think it's too much to look at three different assets or 4 different assets. This little basket I have here, my US basket, if I was just trading US markets, for me, oil for me is just a bit of a measurement, whereas the others are all tradable in my opinion. And when I start to trade with this Tradeify account, yeah, all of these are going to be in play for me. And if you just have a look today, that's ES, horrible chart. That's NQ, horrible chart. S&P trending up, but still relatively horrible. Dow Jones, horrible chart. Gold, very pleasant. Okay, so this is the sort of thing that you can do. You can have a basket, you can identify what's within your sort of checklist. That's the idea. You have a checklist, you have a template that you want to see when you take a trade. And the idea is you put it on a market, see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, swipe right. You put it, I don't know if it's swipe right or swipe left anymore. I've been so far out of the game. If you swipe right or swipe left for something you want or don't want. But the idea is you know, you put your template on and you see whether it fits or not. Okay, so I think that's probably the sort of thing that you could look into doing. Yes, yeah, it has been a bit awful. Sorry guys, I haven't been looking at the chat so much, but no, you're right. It does look a little bit difficult at the moment. But I would suggest that you koalas all have to clap too. Yes, that's true, Jamie. That's true. Don't go shagging any koalas. So
Boy,
yeah,
we really cover every topic on this show, don't we?
have a look at Animal Planet.
Yeah.
Have a look at some other markets if you feel that your market is a difficult one. And that's why I was thinking a bit today when I was looking at everyone sort of focusing on ES and NQ. I was thinking, well, you know, have a look at the Russell at the moment. It was a bit cleaner. Have a look at gold. It's a bit cleaner. So, you know, you can sort of move around. I don't think that's you sort of being a jack of all trades and a master of none. I think that's you allowing yourself to apply your skills to an alternate market that is still essentially US dependent. Like I said, these are all cousins, all the ones in here. I mean, even oil, you know, it is valued against the dollar. Okay, so oil is valued against the dollar. So as is gold, as you know. So a lot of these things are linked. We had oil inventories out today, by the way, so that's what's going on here. The oil data out today. So just be aware of that, guys. I think it's a very simple alternative to maybe forcing something. You either remove yourself from the situation. Difficult for the hosts. Difficult for Miriam to just have said, you know, this is all a bit sideways. I'm just going to disappear right now. So it's a tricky one. So the alternative, if you kind of want to stay in the market and stay in front of the charts, is maybe look sideways, and that's, you know, at an alternate asset that is essentially still linked. I mean, gold at the moment now on the 5 minute, I mean, look how it's behaving. And I think the opportunity on entry was around here. Yeah, because I don't think you want to get in before the US Open, because sometimes it does a little bit of funky stuff on the Open. But if we have a look here, had a lovely little level there. Okay, once, twice. That's the Open. Came down. And if I just put this down to there, that was going to be a potential stop loss level. Okay, it's the low. There's a little touch here, nothing major, but a touch there, break and a retest here. We then broke up through this level with a perfect retest of the level of entry, and then you're sort of away to the races. So there are alternatives. Okay, I think it's worth investigating rather than forcing the sometimes forcing the matter on one single asset. I wanted to show you also a little bit of this. I think it's worth talking about learning from. So, you know, I had a chat with one of my clients here in the UK, and we started to talk about trading the Opens, European Open, actually, because we were getting clean moves. FTSE, during the trade tariff talks, FTSE was taking a move on the Open and just going with it. You know, you have your percentages, have your hit rates. Okay, have a little bit of information on an Excel spreadsheet, and just note, guys, if you're going to be sat in front of your charts so often every day, collect some data. Yeah, there's no point sat there without collecting data that could help you. So collect some data. It's really, really important. Oh, someone's asking me about this. Yeah, so actually, what I wanted to check was I wanted to get this SPX and have a look at its all time. So I got a different chart up. Yeah, so ES is just the E-mini futures. But what I wanted was to get a bigger viewpoint. So I got it on a slightly different broker, if that makes sense. Okay. That's why they're both there. I was just trying to check them years ago, basically, the price of the S&P. Cool. So just here on FTSE, this was the Open. Okay, so we got an Open. We went completely dummy pass. I think double-ended lightsaber is the phrase. I think I heard Nick mention it before. Darth, one of the Darths, Darth Maul, the red fellow, wasn't it? That was a really shit film, wasn't it?
Yep. No, it's not a shit.
Was it a good film? I feel like I went to the cinema to see that and it was awful.
No, I liked it. But anyway,
Okay.
it's Darth Maul, yeah.
Yeah, Darth Maul, sorry, the double-ended lightsaber. And so here we can see complete dummy pass. Okay, market got a big bullish green candle completely reversed on you. So you got to use that information and think, okay, am I going to trade the opens going forwards? It's probably not a good idea, but we still managed to get a good level off it based on these touches here also. So you can then use that information and then you create yourself a nice little 5-minute level here. Now there's opportunities to trade off this level. Remember, you trade to a level, or you trade off a level, or you can trade once it's broken through the level. Okay, this is the idea. And you can see the market respected it. We came back here, little 1-2 again. So it's important to just take that information and just remember it. Okay, because like I said, you need to always collate your information and grow your knowledge. Otherwise, just staring at charts all day and taking nothing from it is not going to be helpful. You can learn from trades you took, you can learn from trades you didn't take, you can learn from just general market movement. That's all we're trying to do at the moment. And the final thing I want to show you, if you don't mind, was this. Okay, so again, it's just a case of simple analysis. Okay, simple analysis, a really good turning point here on the open yesterday. Okay, this is the French CAC, the French stock market. Again, when I'm looking at my Europeans, I'm looking at all the cousins. I've got Japan in there because I always look at the overnight. I don't trade the Nikkei. I just start with the Nikkei, just have a look at the overnight. Then I'm into my European basket here of indices, because I also do, as I'm sure you're all aware, I also do trade and analyze FX. Okay, so I do like to trade major FX. That's where I started my career in FX. Then I ended up trading majoritively sterling pairs. So that's why I will always have that app also. But generally, if you look at this London index and go to the CAC, we had a really good level here. Now, this, I didn't trade off this, okay? This was just a level from Tuesday morning. Now, came straight down to there, and the market had a huge sell-off and failed. Failed again, but the levels off the books until here. It got re-respected, so potentially back on the books is this little level here. But the point I'm trying to make is when this market got up here again, I'm going to go into the 1 minute now, but up here again, like this. Okay, so early this morning, we made our way up. Open here this morning was somewhere like this. That's it. That's the open. So ugly open again, but I'm not trading opens anymore. Market made its way up. We had a little 1 minute double top. Okay, so it's just a price pattern, a double top. The double top at the previous 5 minute resistance level, that rather relevant level from down the road. You can see that there. And what it presented was an ideal entry through the neckline, which is essentially just low. Okay, neckline is just low. My 1 minute is black. Through that neckline, target for me, take the relevant levels. So here was a T1. Okay, so 1 minute support levels, bam, bam, bam. Multiple touches, so clearly rather relevant. Sell through here, stop above the high as always. That's actually adjusted a bit now. This. Yep. So entry through here, stop above here, target there, 1.44. That's perfect for me. It did break through. Now, if I wanted to manage this, which I couldn't today. So if I wanted to manage something like this, trail it behind the levels, you can see that there it hit this level of relevance. It came back, retested it, failed at it, and then broke through. So you could have re-entered through the low there if you wanted to for a continuation. It's interesting because look at where this market failed. So this is the 1 minute now, so you need to do 1 minute analysis. Remember, you should always analyze in the time frame you're willing to execute in. In this instance, it's a 1 minute execution, so there should have been 1 minute analysis, not just 5. If we have a look here, there's your 1 minute support level. 1, 2, 3, multiple attempts at this and just did nothing. So that would have been your target to always be within the target. Okay, so if that's the level, target within it. Use the little tails and the wicks to work out how much of a buffer you need. In terms of how much of a buffer I needed above this resistance, I had a look at the little wicks here, add that, and then take it off from the bottom side. Similarly, on this side here, if you were going to get involved again, you'd have a look at the wicks and have a look at the tails, and then take that off, and you would have had another little T2 down here. But the idea is I personally have not got moving averages. Moving averages would generally utilize, the first moving averages would generally utilize, was the big 200 moving, 200 on a daily chart. Okay, so it's kind of the sort of thing that's been fashioned in the mid to longer terms, and now it's been utilized somewhat fashionably in the shorter time frames. But generally, based on support and resistance levels, so my levels, my targets, entry stops and targets are very simple. Okay, very, very simple. Okay, so yeah, this is sort of thing that I'm sort of looking to do at the moment, is just go level to level, identify support and resistance levels, have a look at bounces off, breaks through levels, 2 levels, and at the moment, if you're not trying to take too much, I just had a session, like I said, finished just before I came onto this with one of our live traders, and he said little and often. Okay, there's no point trying to hit home runs once a week so that you retire, or absolutely smash your account. That's not how it's going to work. Little and often, and you should get to a good place. And that's the sort of thing. I personally am not looking for the big move. I'm looking for lots of little moves, but generally, guys, that should be enough for your week. If you're risking, if I'm risking $500 each time on these trades, nowhere near my daily drawdown allowance, then it's a pretty satisfactory week, and not too much in the form of lots of analysis, lots of stress, and so on and so forth. But guys, does that resonate with any of you? Is that the sort of thing that you're looking to do to try and simplify a little bit, or are you thinking maybe add more indicators and more confirmation because the market's a bit tricky at the moment? What are you thinking?
More. We need more.
More lines, more buttons, more colorful, shiny things.
No, definitely keep it simple. At the end of the day, trading is hard enough on the mind, so you can keep your charts clean at least, and makes it way easier. Yeah,
that's it. Unfortunately, adding something like a moving average could, and I notice people use moving averages, but for me, you've just got to check if it's relevant or not. So if you go back, if you want to trade through a moving average or off one, just check and see. Go back and kind of have a look and say, how often did it respect this indicator, this moving average? And if it transpires that market didn't really care about the moving average all that much, then the odds are it's not overly relevant. And in a sideways market, moving averages are not going to work well, because a moving average is effectively an average of the market. So in a sideways market, you should get a straight line through the middle. It's not going to tell you too much. So you need to have a clear trend to really apply moving averages, because that's how they worked, and that's how they've been forged over a long period of time, based on the closures. Simple moving average. But it's an interesting one, really. And I see you guys took a few trades today. You feel that they were in line with what you were planning to do?
For me, yes.
Yeah, you guys took a few trades today, didn't you?
Yeah, sorry, I'm muted because this garbage man is just going crazy in my.
We can't hear him. You're fine, Mary. We can't hear him.
But yeah, I took 2 trades today. One of them was a banger. The other one was not the best, but yeah, so far, just looking at this market right now, trying to make some move to the upside. So, but you got me kind of hooked on the Russell now. I was looking at the Russell a little bit. So,
it's a pretty market. It's simple. It's a really simple fellow. Just doesn't do too much shit.
We like a simple fellow.
Yeah.
Even I'm trying to get Nick over here to trade ES, but now you're getting.
Yeah, I'm on it already. I did take an ES trade 2 days ago. You know that.
That one doesn't count because it was not during the live. So
come
on. It didn't happen.
I even took an oil trade. So actually, I did start doing that because of you, Tank.
Wow.
I always have Nasdaq, ES, gold, and oil open now when I trade. So.
Yeah, Gold is behaving itself a little bit, because generally, you're going to see markets tend to behave themselves more the more liquidity there is in them. So generally, what you'll find is if there's a little bit more risk and everybody's a little bit worried about where this is going, where that's going, people are then going to move their money into their safe haven assets, and that's exactly what gold is. So generally, when there's more liquidity into a market, the moves aren't as extreme, because it takes more volume to move the price. So basically, in an illiquid market, a buy order of 100 million could move the market 200 points. But in a liquid market, a buy order of 100 million could move the market 5 points.
Yeah.
The most liquid of all markets by a country mile is euro dollar. Okay, the forex pair of euros against dollars is by far the most liquid of all markets. The forex market is more liquid than all the other markets combined, by the way, equity and commodity markets combined. There's more liquidity going through, more turnover going through the forex markets. So generally, euro dollar is the most liquid by a country mile. So, a $500 million order in euro dollar, it's not really going to be seen. Okay, the biggest banker at Deutsche Bank, euro-dollar trader at Deutsche Bank, is going to struggle to really move the euro-dollar market because it's so liquid. So that's what you'll see when things get more liquidity in them. You tend to see less of these big extreme moves because there's more money involved in it. There's more price availability, people getting in and out, and that's exactly what we see in gold at the moment. So at the moment, people are moving their money to gold because they're unsure because of Sir Trumpleton, but also because of what's happening in Iran and so on and so forth. So and Putin. So gold is behaving well at the moment. The moves are not ridiculous, which means if you want to be trading calmer waters, and that's exactly how I trade. I like to trade calmer waters, trend in markets, calmer waters through a level to a level. Then identify what has a bit more liquidity in it, and it tends to work. That strangely isn't the case for the Russell though. Okay, so the Russell there's less money in the Russell than there is obviously in the markets you guys are trading, but I think it's just less people pay attention to it, so there are less big institutional orders. So there are less institutional orders and essentially big money getting involved in the Russell, and therefore we're not going to see as much of these huge moves ups or downs as you get in the other markets. So it's kind of the flip side, but that's also why the Russell tends to behave itself as well. So yeah, I think it's worth having a look at Schrodinger's stop loss. Who that is that?
He's irregular. He's irregular.
But yeah, I hope it makes a little bit of sense. Yeah, have a look around. I don't think it's a bad thing to open up your basket every now and then. If you find that your current market climate is your market is a little bit sideways every now and then, it's a little bit unpredictable, then by all means look over the neighbor's fence and have a look and see what's happening. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Fair enough.
Wrong with that. But yeah, it's been a relatively good week so far, in my opinion, because I guess I've opened up my basket a little bit more, and I think that's quite relevant. When markets are getting a bit tricky, open up your basket, and then you can essentially be a little bit more picky with what you're going to take. Because generally, I think what you'll find is that the fundamentals are relevant to all of them at the same time. Some more than others, but the technicals are slightly different, and that's due to, like I said, the liquidity and where there's big money, where there's smart money, so on and so.
I have a quick question for you, Coach, because you had brought up the SPX earlier. Do you trade options at all?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. So I used to lecture in it's really interesting because I think of the live traders that I've been with in the past 3 months, I reckon we always talk about them personally, but also their trading journey. I think 70% of them started in options. And I use the phrase "had their ass handed to them." So they started in options. And
there's another one here.
Sounds about right.
So it seems to be like a common. It's really strange because I've worked at options traders in London, and I essentially lectured it at business schools, options trading methods and strategies. It's complicated. I mean, if you really want to get into options institutionally, it's really quite complicated. Like you can make big money, of course, but it's really quite complicated. So I was quite interested that it seems to be the starter for a lot of retail traders. And I guess that's probably why a lot of people may have struggled, because yeah, options are tricky. And no, it's not something that I like to get into, because it's a little bit, to me, it's quite mathematical when you get into options. I used to lecture on payoff diagrams and so on and so forth, and you really can get into the nitty gritty of it, but I didn't enjoy that. It was kind of like, it reminded me a little bit of my science days, and I was thinking, actually, this is not something I enjoy so much. So I much prefer doing what I'm doing here, which is very simply, here's a level, take it to the next level. Something like that. So no, I personally don't. But I was just looking at this because I wanted to just have a look at the S&P over the past like 20 years sort of thing, and I didn't get that on that ES chart, so that's why I got it out. But it's always worth also, because you know what, I remember trading, I used to trade dollar yen, and I remember somebody talking about dollar yen making all-time highs, and actually back in 90s it was much higher. So somebody hadn't got all the data on their chart, but yet they wrote a whole report about how dollar yen was making all-time highs, but it wasn't actually, because in the 80s and 90s it was much higher. So it's really interesting to have a look at how far back your chart goes before you just assume that it's making all-time highs. Generally at the stock market, it is making all-time highs, generally at stock markets. But with things like gold, for instance, you need to have a look far back to get the perfect, I mean, gold has been going up, of course, but to get the perfect sort of idea of gold and exactly where it started from, I don't know actually how far back this is going to go. Let's have a look. Let's get a monthly chart up. Look at gold, by the way, guys. If you wanted to just buy some gold and hold it, never a bad idea. Put some money in gold. My mother has 2 gold bars. That one she got the year I was born, one she got the year my brother was born, and she has the original ticket for it and the original price per ounce of these 2 gold bars. She got my birthday and my brother's birthday.
I'm curious.
She's made a killing.
Haven't they?
She's made an absolute killing. Yeah. But she'll never sell them. That's also the thing with mums. They'll never realize their profit.
She's diamond handing those.
Yeah. So have a look. I mean, this is sort of big movement we've seen in gold. Look at this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wild.
if you just got involved, look at that. That's 23rd. Okay, 2023. What a level here on in gold 2023. Market struggled. Let's get this down. Something like that. Look at that. Okay, failed. These are monthly chart candles, by the way. Failed, and then you had that Maribozu, that full impulsive candle, the big candle. Also have a look at the price, by the way, around all of this. It's 2,000. You can see that there. We're there at 2,000 pretty much. So big psychological value, and market struggle. We went through it, and look at that. From here to April 24 to March, April, pretty much May. So 1 year. Okay, this was gold in 1 year. So if you're looking to maybe stick something on the back burner as well, guys, this was gold in 1 year. And there's an intrinsic value for it. Okay, this is the whole point. This is why I've had to lecture on the future of cryptos and so on and so forth. And for me, the whole idea is there intrinsic value to something? And yeah, there is in gold. Okay, every country has its gold reserves. Big countries have their gold reserves, and they have them for a reason. And I think that's something that you can understand why. But it's a very simple thing. Essentially, the world goes to shit. People tend to put money in gold, and you can see that there. This is what gold has done in 1 year. Okay, over 50+%. Just be aware of that, guys. There are plenty of things that you can look at, plenty of time frames you can look at. If you've got your own personal account and you want to put something in the back burner, put it on the back burner. Okay, I mean, this is why I got the S&P here, and I wanted to just check this out. Okay, I was just having a look at essentially presidential tenures. That's what I was doing. Having a look at this was Obama. Okay, this was Obama. The S&P during Obama's time. And it's worth understanding this because Trump being in control now, guys, it's not new territory. He's been there before, okay? And this was Trumpleton. Yeah.
I love when you call him Trumpleton.
Yeah, he's a character. He's a cartoon character. That's why. I feel like he should drive around in a little noddy car.
Sir Trumpleton.
So something like that. Like I said, this is what Trump did for the S&P in his look at this, almost identical to Obama's 2 terms. Okay, in terms of the gains that Trump almost identical, these 2 boxes. And the point of this is this shouldn't really surprise us all that much. That's the whole point. Okay, so have a look now when he's when he gets back in, and we can kind of work out potentially just trajectorize how that's going to work out. And another reason that this is going up, by the way, is because the dollar was weakening, and that's also why I look at US dollars. I look at my forex because it does affect the stock market, because generally they work inversely. If dollars go down, it's cheaper to buy US stocks. So generally what you find is that if dollars weaken, which is what Trump is trying to do, it's going to make the stock market more buoyant. So it's really important you understand these little links between what he's trying to achieve. And you can have a look at the dollar if you want. There's something called dollar index as well, which you can look at. Just amalgamation of all the forex top five forex pairs with the dollar amalgamated into one, called the dollar index. I'm not a big fan of that because over 56% of that is the euro dollar. Essentially, it means it's dependent on the strength of the euro as well. So just have a look at dollars in general and understand what's happening with the dollar, and you should give you an indication what's going to happen with the stock market as well. Yeah, so Trump wants a weaker dollar. It's going to make the stock market go up. He liked to show off about how many new highs he made as a president. Yeah, he was doing that by making the dollar weak, essentially. Made the dollar weak. S&P went up, stock market went up, and he said, look, I've made the stock market go up, but the reason it went up was because dollars were getting cheaper and people were buying more and more. Okay, so understand that, because if you're going to be trading US equities, it's good to understand what the real drivers are behind them, the mid and longer term drivers, as well as, like we do, jumping all the way down onto your 5-minute chart, okay, and having a look at what you're actually going to trade in the next few hours. But it's always worth, ladies and gents, and that's the sort of thing you can do. What we've just done now is the perfect thing to do when markets are going sideways. Okay, when markets are going sideways, do a little bit of research, have a look at something, get some topics up on your post-its, and say, you know what, I need to research this. I want to have a look at that. I want to understand where all-time highs are in gold. I want to understand where this is. I want to understand where that is. And yeah, just do some research. Have a look. We had oil inventories out today. Have a look at how it affected oil over the past 15 times it came out. Okay, we have oil inventories come out. It's always going to be in your calendar here, crude oil inventories. Okay, when I actually started trading crude oil inventories, for me it's every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. When I started, crude oil inventories was actually a red piece of data. Okay, when I started, it was a red envelope because it had a lot of relevance. Whereas now, with things like Iran and what's happening in Russia, the actual oil inventories isn't overly important anymore, which is why it's downgraded not to orange but to yellow. Because what's more important is understanding what's happening with regards to Putin and Iran. For our oil supplies. So you just got to understand the little nuances like that can affect your markets. But if you don't know but you want to know, perfect time to do some reading, do some research, go back to charts, familiarize yourself with mid and long term as well as short term stuff, is when the market's going sideways, so you don't feel like taking a shitty trade. I think that seems to be a simple logic behind it, really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Just a lot of people are so interested. I didn't realize actually how interested people are in financial markets. Everyone that I've been working with, they really love financial markets and they love trading, and they love, they obviously love the excitement of trading, but also they actually are interested in financial markets. So do some research. And, if you're going to really get involved in this, guys, be that sort of person that can go to the pub and talk about anything with everybody. And it's, just get a really good holistic view of the market. Absolutely. Bitcoin. Someone's just put Bitcoin in there. And it's a good point. I mean, I don't trade Bitcoin, but in my miscellaneous, that fella is there. Okay. And again, why? And it's there because it's important to understand what's going on with regards to Bitcoin and cryptos in general, because it will affect the equity markets. It will affect gold. It will affect a lot of things. Okay. If this is going to get regulated, if more and more positive things are happening in the crypto world, what do you think is going to happen to the normal world? Money is going to come out of the normal world and get put into the crypto world. It's important to also understand what's happening trending wise and also fundamentally wise with regards to cryptos. So of course, I will have cryptos up here as well, and I've got Bitcoin. I've always just kept an eye on it. I've never got involved in it, but I've always just kept an eye on it. So I think it's worth just keeping an eye. Giveaways. Everybody wants a giveaway these days, don't they? Cheap bastards.
I want a giveaway.
Pass another 50k growth. Well done, Zeke. Guys, I'll take some questions now if anybody wants to shoot some questions at me. If anybody wants to shoot some questions, I'll take some questions. I mean, hopefully that was a little bit more chart related, what we did today. But Euro Israeli shekel, shall we see how that's going?
Yeah.
I used to trade Israeli shekel a long time ago.
Huh.
It's interesting to see what's happening with the Israelis given them what's happening over there, but it's also Euros are also being affected at the moment. But look at that. In the days, let's get into wow. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, any of you in the charts, please do let me know. Have anybody in the chat? Sorry. Oh, there's a question. Are there giveaways going on today? I assume there's a marble race at some point.
Well, we're gonna have massive giveaways on Friday during the whole Halo competition. So
yeah, that sounds quite cool. This Halo competition. You're talking about computer games, by the way. Everybody's talking about computer games. That was the last computer game I ever played. Was
Halo?
Was Halo 1.
Oh,
well,
wow.
are you competing then on Friday?
Yeah, no.
Why?
I can't remember any of the buttons. It's when I used to live with my older brother before he left for university. So a long time ago, Halo 1 on the original Xbox. That's the last computer game I've ever played.
Wow. I think mine was like, I don't know, Animaniacs or something.
But I agree with Matt. Super Nintendo was my console of choice.
Absolutely, yeah, that was my coming of age console right there.
Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. So we still have one, Matt. Actually, my brother and I have a Super Nintendo, the original, and we put original Mario Kart on a 60-inch plasma TV.
Wow.
And the pixels are about this big. You can actually see the pixels, the squares of the tires on original Mario Kart going around like this. You put it on a huge TV, so it's interesting to see how these things have come on.
Wow.
11 years I've been trading, so I've had a fund since 2014, and it's quite interesting. That's the whole reason that I'm sort of here at Tradeify, is because I sort of came from the trading point of view that, I've never done an eval, I've never done sims, I've never had a reset button. I've generally learned to grow a single account, nurture it, respect it, capital preservation, grow it, and then when I've needed to, take from it. It's kind of the skill set that's required when trading live accounts at Tradeify, which is kind of what I've been looking to do with the live traders. Show me more how you mark up your levels. Yeah, I think so mine I'm going to be doing my masterclass on Thursday. Tomorrow is going to be levels. Okay, so how to validate them, how they become unvalidated, how we can identify levels without 3 touches, for instance, the relevance of round numbers, so on and so forth, all-time highs, all-time lows, how we can utilize them for entry, stops, and targets. So this is what I'm going to be doing, and this is what I'm going to be doing in my my masterclass tomorrow. I don't know how one gains access to that via the Discord, I believe, but if you jump into our Discord, then I believe you'll have access to the masterclass tomorrow. That's going to be at 1 p.m. EST. Guys, what time do you clock off? 12:30.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 1 p.m. EST, that's going to be on. Yeah, so have a look. If you fancy, just very sort of clear rules, objective rules for how you identify a level and how you make a level relevant. It just helps you. So I've never ummed and ahed about the relevance of a level. It's either been a level or not been a level for me, and it helps your analysis go a lot more smoothly when you can't make up a decision in the moment. Yeah, so objective analysis. I think the class is going to be in the Discord. Yeah, so that's what we did 2 weeks ago. There was a Discord. Guys, jump on the Discord, and from there, I think you have access to it. Matt G, what are your thoughts on having a take profit level for the day versus taking every setup your system provides? Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, Matt, actually. Simply because, I don't like you putting a limit on how much you can make in the day. I think you should certainly have a limit on how much you can lose in a day. So we have a daily loss. When that happens, you're out for the day. But there are some days when your system and the market are synchronized, and the market's conducive of your system. So if you can place a trade and it hits your target, and then you can place another trade and it hits your target, and the market is behaving itself the way I trade, with a very simple level to level. If the market is behaving itself in that sense, then yeah, absolutely, you should take as many trades as are there for you, and you could have a very, very good day, because there are certainly going to be times when you apply your system perfectly to the market and the market just chews you up and says, no, not today, Matt. So I think it's important that, for me personally, when the market is offering you pips, I'm not going to say dollars, I'm going to say pips. When the market's offering you pips, I suggest it's important to take them, because there is going to be times when the market will not offer you pips, and you're just going to have a maximum loss for the day. So no, for me, I don't believe in tapping out at a maximum gain. But also that's because some people, when they win, they start to deviate from their system. So for some people, making a lot in a day leads them to do naughty things. So if you're someone that can remain objective in your application, then for sure continue trading. But if you're somebody that gets a bit overexcited and gets overconfident once you've made X amount of profit, then tap out. Yeah, so it's going to be dependent on the individual and their character and how well they can stay disciplined to apply their strategy. But generally, me personally, if I have the time and I keep trading and I keep hitting targets, I'm not going to stop, because I can still objectively apply my strategy and my risk management is still completely the same. I don't go bigger. Okay, so I think that's probably, I have done it once in my life. Okay, one time I made a mistake in that sense. It was probably about 6.5 years ago, and I had 13 trade winning streak on the DAX. Yeah, so I traded DAX 13 times in a row and it hit my target 13 times. And on the 14th time, I doubled my risk like a dick. And on the 14th time, I got stopped out.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
So I think that's the one time that's ever happened to me where I got overconfident. And essentially I was winning, and I essentially thought, and I speak German, by the way, and I generally was even telling somebody, one of my colleagues, I was like, I speak German, as if that had anything to do with me trading the DAX. I was talking to Angela Merkel through my chart. I was shouting at Angela Merkel through my chart. I was doing something that ridiculous. So we've all been there. I mean, I've been there once, and I deviated from my system and I lost. I doubled my risk and I lost. So actually, it's never happened since. So now I can objectively always apply. So for me, if I keep winning, I'll keep applying, because everything is going to be objective. So I think that's completely down to the trader in that instance. Is the channel Tradeify Live? We're talking about Discord. Someone link Discord, guys. I think
just go to the our homepage, tradeify.co, and at the top there should be a link to the Discord.
There you go. Yeah, there'll be a link to Discord there. I don't know if little Nicky can put it in. He might be doing sit-ups or something. Probably doing some crunches.
Trying to get in his pants.
Right, yeah, overconfidence, awful. Yeah, so there's lots of different things, psychology. And again, my masterclasses are going to be doing different aspects of psychology. We're going to be looking at things like snakebite effect. We're going to be looking at things, what could happen when things go bad. but also how you can get derailed when things go too good. Something called house money effect happens to a lot of people. When they win, they then don't integrate those profits into their back pocket, into their wallet, into their bank account. They think it's free money that they can essentially throw around, and then trading standards drop. So yeah, when things go badly, you can make mistakes, and when things go well, you can also make mistakes. It's very, very difficult to just sort of keep. Oh, can you see my question, please? No, where's sorry, Yasir. Let me see. Oh. What's your advice for someone who moves his stop loss and cannot accept the idea that he's wrong? Yeah, so moving your stop loss, there's a bit of pride there, isn't it? So I think a stop loss should be placed at a level, someone taught me this, my old boss actually, should be placed at a level that you're happy to lose. Okay, it's a level that technically you believe the market will turn. Okay, so I guess even an example on, let's take an example on that. Oh, that one. Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, this completely died. By the way, we spoke about that already, didn't we? Cup and handle. Awful cup and handle. Again, markets are so fundamentally driven at the moment. The long-term technical is not really going to help you. So here's an example. Yeah. So I got a stop loss here. If I got entered through this level now, the market came back. I don't want to be long because my stop loss is already placed at a level where I don't believe I should be long anymore. So generally, put your stop loss in a position where you think the market would go the other way, or certainly not go the way you initially thought. So it's in a technically really strong level. The stop loss, guys, is such an important level to place. It shouldn't just be arbitrarily placed 20 points away. And that's one of the issues with a lot of people, is when you arbitrarily just put a stop loss 8 points away based on some sort of randomized number, really. It's not a technical level, and therefore the market could still turn even if it surpasses the 8 points. Whereas I place stop losses at technical levels whereby if the market breaks that level, one does not expect it to turn. So technically choose your levels, and you choose your stop losses, and then also put a value there whereby if it got hit, it's not going to affect you psychologically or financially, really. So the number that's at your stop loss should be a number that you're happy to give away. Okay, so my boss told me, write the check. He said, if you put a stop loss and if you put a trade on where your stop loss is, write the check out, tear it off, and this is metaphorically. Yeah, I don't think anybody here has a checkbook anymore. Maybe Matt. and so
a lot of people don't know how to write checks.
So tear off the. There's actually a shop in Notting Hill, okay, in London. You've all heard of Notting Hill. There's an antique shop in Notting Hill, and she still takes checks, by the way.
Oh my.
Yeah, she says, you can write me a check, darling, if you fancy. So there's a shop in Notting Hill. So yeah, you metaphorically tear off the check and be ready to give it away. Now, if you're not ready to give that amount of money away, you're never going to trade or manage objectively, because you're going to be fearful of giving that away, which means you're going to run away from the market. So reduce your risk. So one, place a stop loss that's technically sound, whereby if the market surpasses it, you don't expect the original idea to continue. So we're not hoping, we're thinking here, remember. And two, make it a value that should it get triggered, it's not going to affect how you are for the rest of your day. You're still going to be able to trade because it's small. You're still going to be able to go out for dinner with your other half. You're still going to be able to go on your holiday at the weekend, all these kind of things. So I think that's the sort of thing that you need to pay attention to with a stop loss, because cardinal sin is moving a stop loss, running away from the market. And that's one of the cardinal sins. And usually it happens because people don't believe in where their stop loss is placed, because it's not a technical level, it's an arbitrary pip value. And two, people risk too much at their stop loss because they're thinking about what they can gain at the other end. Therefore, they run away because they don't ever want it to be realized. So very simple, reduce the risk and choose a technically sound level for a stop. And you should be able to just disappear, let it happen. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Cool.
Love that.
Right. Hi, love from Germany. Hi, Astrid. I mean, I lived in Vienna for a year in Austria. So I have only visited Germany, but I lived in Vienna in Austria for a year.
I still haven't heard you speak German, though.
I know, because you've never got me drunk.
Right, next task on my list now.
Challenge accepted.
Nick, you only speak Swiss German.
No, I speak German and.
Oh, you speak German. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much same.
Right, I'm gonna have to shoot because I've got another session today. Yeah, I've got one more session this evening here in London with another live trader, and I've got to do a little bit of preparation for it. But
Busy man.
yeah, it's good. It's really good. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time at live traders at the moment. A lot of them, we end up talking about issues that they never even thought were issues because they've never thought about it themselves. Yeah, Notting Hill Carnival, brilliant, by the way. But yeah, never thought about these issues themselves. So I'm really happy actually at the moment. There's quite a few. I've done this for a few months now, and I don't know how many I've gone through at the moment, but plenty. And it's quite relevant. Okay, it's quite relevant at the moment. So I'm happy. They're talking often about their days. They're talking about their setups. They're talking. So it's not so much technical. Okay, a lot of it is about the person, and that's something you'll find out. You'll find out more and more about yourself as a person. So please be aware of that. It's important to understand. To not stop learning, basically. Okay, don't stop learning. You can learn more about yourself. You can learn more about your charts, about markets, but you can still develop yourself. And I think a lot of the live traders are doing that with me, which is quite nice. Tank, are you in Notting Hill? No, I'm south of the river, Matt. I'm in Battersea. Yep, so just south of the river, just the south side of Chelsea. I've always been a south of the river kind of guy. There's a big, I don't know if anybody knows, in London, there's a big north-south divide. North of the River Thames, south of the River Thames, and I've always been south. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
I can't see that last question. How do you defend jack of all kinds trader rather than focusing on one instrument, master it? Yeah, because if you just take one instrument, Rajan, it's okay to do that as long as you're completely disciplined and you're happy not taking trades. Because if you're just trading one instrument, you're often going to find yourself in a situation where it is kangarooing or going side or just a little bit all over the place. And that could happen not just in the moment. It could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. And we've got earnings out. We've got a lot of big data out the other day from the US. And things were struggling a little bit on the back of that. There was a bit of previous, so during the day, lack of liquidity. People were closing positions. Before big data, you'll see lack of liquidity because people are closing big positions without holding them through the data, kind of messes with the market. And then thereafter, people are unsure as to how the market's going to react. So it could be ruined for like a before, during, and after. And it's difficult to not trade. So if you're trading one instrument and you're super disciplined and you're happy to not take positions that are not in line with your system, then fine. But if you're somebody that has dedicated your life, your day to trading, so you're not doing a full-time job, you've not got kids, you're in front of your charts, it's difficult to sit there for 10 hours and not trade. So what you could do is have a very simple system, back test it and make sure it works on other instruments, things that are related. Now, I'm not going to trade NQ and ES the same way I'm going to trade dollar versus South African rand. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because my system required for trading dollar South African rand is very different to that of US equities, and it's because they're two very different markets. So what you can do is you can trade something similar. So that's why I've grouped in my, my baskets. I've got the US markets grouped because a lot of them do move in similar fashion, some better than others in certain moments. And therefore, it's not really a jack of all trades. It's a master of your system, and your system can be applied here, 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 or here. If it doesn't fit any of them, you don't take a trade. If it fits one of them, you take the trade. Okay, so that's all I'm sort of suggesting, is that it's mastering your system that can be applied anywhere. Yeah, so I think that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to get at. But if you just want to trade one, I know a lot of people just trade one. It's okay as long as you're disciplined to not deviate from your system when you spend some time not seeing opportunities present themselves. So that's why sometimes it's better to open your basket up a little bit. What about in markets wick out stop loss and then goes to a take profit? I've been setting stop loss much higher and then manually closing if it does actually go where my stop loss should be. Yeah, so that's called a mental stop loss, isn't it? Yeah, so it's a mental stop loss. So I think what you could do is have a look at, like I said, I have buffers. So if I have a relevant level, I put my stop loss behind that level with a buffer. And if I have a target that I'm targeting, I target the level, but I'm within the target. So my stop losses are always behind the previous level, and my target is always within the next level. And you apply a buffer to that, and the buffer is to account for a little bit of volatility. And a way you can identify the volatility on a candle-to-candle basis is look at the wicks of 10 candles and average in your head how many pips the wicks are, and then the same for the tails. Then apply that on top of where you would normally put your stop loss. I think that tends to be a simple way to do that. So you account for the potential pipped in, pipped out. By the way, guys, people are not coming for you. Okay, people are not coming for your stops. No one's making money off your free minis. Okay, so relax.
Yes, they are.
And yeah,
we have a resident one in the chat. His name is Mario S.
Oh, is that right? He's calling everyone at neck. Yeah, no problem at all, everyone. Always getting clutch and remember being not doing much. Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. You're in Chiswick. Oh, lovely. That's not too far at all, Chiswick. Brilliant. As in Chiswick, actually, on Saturday night on Chiswick High Street in a pub. I do support Arsenal. Okay, but that's also because when I was young, Arsenal were very good, and I was actually born in North London.
All right, Tank.
There you go. Yeah, I've got to go.
Tank, no, I know you have a next session, but thanks so much for being on. It was fun, as usual. I mean, I'm a bit upset you didn't wear white tee, but,
You know what? I heard that. I actually heard you talk about that, and honest to God, I had a look. No, honest to God, I had a look, and I don't have one.
Well, I have to buy you one then.
Shit you not, I don't
Nick
own
will
a
just
white
send you one
t-shirt.
from his closet.
I would have had to have turned up in one of my old work shirts that don't really fit me anymore because I'm a lot bigger than I used to be. But yeah, all I have is a white work shirt. I realised how strange. I don't own a white t-shirt.
You got to get some white shirts, that's for sure. But hey, thank you so much for coming on, chat. Let's give a
Pleasure.
Thank you, Tank, in the chat.
Pleasure.
And what's that, Mary?
I said, thank you, Tank.
Thank you.
No, pleasure, guys. It's really
We'll see you next
always
time.
a pleasure. So yeah, I'll speak soon. Have a lovely weekend, all of you. If I don't speak to you, but yeah, if you're going to jump in the masterclass tomorrow via the Discord, yeah, I'll see you guys
Awesome.
Nice.
Right. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.
Thanks,
Now,
Tank.
chat, as you know, Tank is the coach for our live traders, right? So let's look at the P&L from our live traders from yesterday, the top live trader P&L. So we have $2,800 from Matthew, Alec with 5,100 for Alejandro, Cameron with 5,200, and I have no idea how to pronounce that name, with 5,300. These guys have been crushing it yesterday.
Starting to see some names 2, 3, 4 times. Man, these guys are doing it.
It's hard. All right, we do have a tiny leaderboard. Now it's gone. Anyways, our live traders have been crushing it. And if you become a live trader at Tradeify, you get to work with Tank one-on-one for free. So that is definitely an incentive to work for. While we were talking with Tank, I mean, the markets have been pushing up, likely because of Apple. I mean, Apple is up 5.68% today, which is crazy. That is a record day. Absolutely insane. Likely pushing Nasdaq higher and ES, of course. So we're just making high after high.
I know, this is pretty wild. Definitely not what I was expecting for the day. But yeah, Apple running up is definitely pushing or helping push the market up. ES is breaking previous day high. So we are sitting here. I know I was looking at the chat and I could see some of you guys taking longs here, especially at this pre-market high tap. This was a really, really clean long on ES. Now, we're pushing above. We're pushing above these previous day highs. Definitely cleared this supply zone sitting here that, I was for sure at this point thinking we were going to drop. Now, obviously, we needed to clear this pre-market high, which we did not. And I saw that some of you guys caught that long. So where are we going to next? Where are we headed to? Well, ES, from what you guys can see here, flat top resistance sitting here at the 77s. So you at least have room to that area. Holding previous day high, obviously we can clear that area. And if we do clear that, we really don't have anything until about 86, and then call it 400, 396, 400. But we are slowly trying to make our way back up to the upside here. On the NASDAQ, let me just pull the 1 hour here. We are in the current supply zone right now. You guys can see where the supply zone was pulled. This is a 4 hour and 1 hour supply zone. So still potential for us to reject the 400s that we did yesterday. But, we clear the 400s. This is going to be our next target. We're about 30 points away from that zone. If we clear the 400s, we have 426, 424, and then 473, and then really 500. So do we make the move today? I don't know. Apple, I was looking at Apple a little bit here. Apple is pushing. Apple is really pushing. I have this level on Apple at 215. So, this is an area to keep watch if you guys are trading Apple or watching Apple. This is an area that we would need to clear to the upside. Again, it's that 215, 216 level. But in terms of NASDAQ, we are really, really still in the supply. So ES looking stronger right now. So let's see what there's still a lot of day left. And we've just gotten this massive move to the upside. Having a red, really look at the 1 hour, not a single red candle, except for, this pre-market one, but really nice move to the upside here on the 1 hour. And yeah, it's just such a bull run here. How we looking? How we looking, chat?
Yeah, I will tell you that I was just watching this. Well, it's the best of both worlds. I can hear Tank's soothing voice talking a lot of sense about the markets, and I could just sit back and watch things rolling up. And it's just a nice, again, slow step. I literally looked at my in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen. I looked at the date like 7 times because this is like 2014. This is like when I started trading, right? These you didn't have. You had big moves, you had swipes, you had all that stuff, but like when you go up, it'd be a nice, smooth, steady move up. Most of the time we go down, be a little more velocity to the downward moves, as Miriam is so fond of pointing out that bears take I always heard bears take the elevator, and she just pushes them out the fucking window. She doesn't give a shit. So, that it really, some of these moves over the course of the past couple of weeks have felt like the old markets, as it were. Back in my day, you damn kids, the markets didn't just do this 200-point swipey with nothing going on behind it. So yeah, no, it's really been interesting. I bet option traders are just eating right now because this is some good solid options activity. So, but yeah, Apple is Apple kissed the ring today, so they are reaping the benefits. I did see a report talking about the investment, and I was right. They're not making iPhones or iPads or anything they're going to lose profit margin on here. They're going to make a couple of niche products, and or maybe just servers. So hey, investment is investment, and hopefully it provides some jobs along the way. But yeah, that's the whole Apple thing. There is an event today. Tim Apple is apparently going to be there with the president, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just thinking about options traders today. It's hard when you're trading in chop. Your premium is just getting completely burned. You're just getting wrecked on both sides. And that's why, with futures traders, you're not worried about things like, gamma, delta, theta, all those Greeks. You're really just concerned about the price, the direction of the price. But yeah, options traders, in terms of a move like this is a pretty nice, decent move. Whether you're trading the QQQs, SPX, SPY, whatever the case may be, or Apple, right? If you're trading Apple, a move like this could easily be like over 400%. But yeah, this is quite the move. I was not expecting this. I'm curious to know if Apple didn't come out with that information, we would be sitting at these highs currently.
Well, especially because Apple's earnings were, I don't want to say disappointing, but they didn't get a sharp rally off of their earnings. So this is sort of an earnings pop, as it were. But, as we've seen over the years, now, for those that were around and trading during Trump's first term, really learned the meaning of the phrase Trump giveth and Trump taketh away, right? Because now I was more of an options and stock trader at that time, but that's what he was more affecting of, right? He would tweet about an individual company pleasing or displeasing him, and it was not as sure they have an effect on the markets in general, but it's, you know, as we get Apple and other companies that have more and more of a percentage of the S&P, and the Mag 7 wasn't a thing in 2016 through 2018, right? The markets eventually adjusted to Trump, as they're already starting to do, right? We're not seeing the velocity of movement that we did in this first month or two in office for his second term. So we'll see what happens, but it's again, I said today, I think we were going to pop out of that wedge to the upside, and I think we're heading back. I think we're going to be back at new all-time highs by Labor Day.
I believe it. I believe it.
Me too. When Matt says it, I believe it.
Yeah. Man, so yeah, we'll monitor this area today. The 400s are on deck, so if anyone took a long or is in a long from previously, then that would be my next target. ES trying to find some resistance here at the 75s. We'll see. I mean, if we can hold previous day high, I think that's the level. Really, at the minimum, this pre-market high where we wicked from might still have some single prints there, so we could find some buyers. Man, I'm not kidding you guys when I say this. These garbage truck men are like on a mission today.
You know, I was actually typing in the background chat. I'll just say it here. I was like, you know, I didn't even know you guys have garbage trucks in LA. I thought you hippies recycled everything.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to mute myself now and see if you guys can hear this, but I have been muting myself every like 5 seconds. I'm like, do we really have that much trash on the street? Like, what is happening?
Now you're good. We can't hear it. It's all good. Well, have you heard about the poop trucks in Dubai?
The what?
The poop trucks in Dubai.
No.
So the Burj Khalifa, right? Highest building on earth currently, does not have a system for like the toilets flushing, like that goes into underground canals or something. They have to literally gather it every single day and have dozens of poop trucks like driving into the underground parking, collecting it, and then bringing it away into the desert. It's like one of the most fucked up things ever.
They just dump it in the desert?
Nah, I don't know how. Nah, I don't think so. But they drive it out to the desert, and then they have some.
I bet they just dump it in the desert. They're. I mean, with their record of safety and human rights out there, they probably just dump it in the poor people's houses.
That's actually pretty wild. I've never heard of that. Maki's like, that is not true.
You know, Nick, how have you not Tom Cruise that building yet, where you've just like been standing on the antenna? I'm very disappointed.
I would love to stand on top of Burj Khalifa, but there's been like 12 people that were able to do it, I think, so far. Mr. Beast is one of them. And Tom Cruise is another one of them.
Psycho. That guy creeps the hell out of me.
Tom Cruise or Mr. Beast?
Yes.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is one as well. But that would be sick. Will Smith is another one. And then there are like
okay. That's not helping your case.
I don't think this is getting better.
Well,
did you see that freestyle he did a couple days ago? The most cringe shit I've seen in my entire life.
A couple days ago, because I'm thinking about a music video that he put together.
Oh no, that's separate. He did a music video, the Pretty Girl one, which was, oh my God, like, bro, you're a 50,
he's having a midlife crisis.
You're a married dude with grown kids. You're not like, if a 16-year-old did that, I'd be, all right, I get it. Yeah, okay, but you're goofing around on YouTube. God, thank fuck YouTube didn't exist when I was at that age. That would have been, there'd be some real cringe shit out there. But yeah, that's yeah. No, he did some like freestyle thing where he's like sitting in a studio, but I don't even know how to describe it. And it was like, it's one of those things like it's, I don't know, it's like a 2-minute video, at least the clip I saw. And it's like, like you can't look away. It's a train wreck, right? It's like it hurts my ears, but like, can it get worse? And then it gets worse.
Yeah.
It's something. I remember E-Bombs World, Z. That was the shit when I was in college. I remember when the Facebook first came out. Like, was my
Facebook, yep.
I think it was my sophomore year of college, and it was only college kids at that point. And my school and about 5 others in the Midwest were the only ones outside of the Ivy League and the Pac-10 at that point to get it, because they went to the coasts first. And then they did a few select private schools in the Midwest, and mine happened to be one of them. And I was like, this is an enormous waste of time. This thing's going to be done in a year or two. Nope. Now Zuckerberg has the entire world by the data balls. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, wild. I don't know. We'll see. I was just reading a comment in here from JB. I was just gonna message you, but you see it. He says, Miriam, at one point you were down 1K, and then on one trade you got profitable on the day, but held on and ultimately taken still with a loss for the day. Wondering why you didn't close. So I was down on the day, but I ended up, so the short that I took, I moved my stop to 10 points in profit. So I did make up some of those gains back. Now, on the first trade, though, I will preface with saying that I did size up on that trade. So I was in 3 minis on that trade. If I took another 3 minis on that second trade, I would have been completely out of that trade. Obviously, I would have been, you know, profitable on the day. But the thing is, I didn't want to go in with normal size again. I just wanted to chip away at my losses. But I was also looking for a specific move. I was looking for ES to break these lows. You could see we held it really, really strongly, but I was waiting for these lows to break because I was willing to risk the 10 points of profit that I was in, right? I was already in profit, so it didn't matter. This trade was a win regardless. But I was willing to risk the 10 points of this stopping me out to potentially see another 20 points. So it wasn't necessarily like, you know, a complete loss or anything like that. I would take this trade over and over again. It was just simply me looking for this low to break. This was initially where I wanted to actually enter. So I did end up getting a really nice entry, but I wanted more of a flush in this area. So that's kind of my reasoning for staying in that trade and just moving my stop to 10 points in. But, you know, I was looking for more of a potential 20, 30 point move to the downside. So that's why I was willing to risk that extra 10 points.
JB, to add on that, that also is what makes the difference between a profitable trader and an unprofitable trader. Like, Miriam is not trying to take a trade to make her losses back. She's taking a trade because she sees potential in a trade and she follows her rules and her systems. And if it was in her system to go for these lows, she's obviously going to do that and not just close because she now made back her loss from the previous trade.
Yeah, that's another good point. Like, it sucks being down on the day, and I could have sized up, you know, 3 minis on that second trade. Now, obviously that wouldn't have been great, but it would have been great in the trade, right? I would have made back my profits on just the touch of VWAP, right? On those 3 minis. But I was willing to take this in consideration that we had a nice strong rejection of this trend line. You know, it's also like it was supply on Bookmap. So I was like, all right, if this trade is serious, if bears are serious on this, they're going to push this down below opening range low, which you can see they did not. And so I was willing to take that risk. But either way, I mean, we closed this in profits, and I would take this trade all over again.
Nasdaq is approaching a previous day high here at the 404s. We're 20 points away from there. Wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're up a little over % on the day, so
yeah,
have to kind of see where we.
Apple is at almost 6% now, 5.94. That's crazy.
Yeah, Nasdaq is trying to get to this 400 level. So let's see. This might be another, like, maybe going into the lunch hour, we see a little bit of a grind up. I would start to get a little bit more cautious if these candle bodies start to get smaller and smaller and smaller, especially with decreasing volume. So just be mindful of that. You know, obviously to sustain this, we're going to have some sort of pullback if we want to continue higher. So I would look for potentially the 300s to hold, call it like 310. You know, if we do come back down, say, for example, we tap 400, we come back down, maybe we touch 340. And then if we do get a little bit deeper, I would expect 300 or 310 to hold. At minimum, I would say even 287, but you could see the top of this wick right here. But if we continue to fall, you know, it's not going to look too good. We would look for opening range high to hold. And then if we can't hold that, then, you know, we could see the lows here. I don't see that happening today just based off this move, but it can happen.
Anybody catch some of this slow, steady move up? This is, you know, this is a true diamond hand move. If you caught like 100 points or 80 points in this, just because again, it was again more of a traditional move. I know, especially for those of you that have been just started trading the last few months or the last couple of years, even before Trump came in office, like the huge swipes, big moves, like that's kind of the new normal in the markets, especially the futures market with all the new participants. But this is kind of this is why I think this move is going to continue in the coming days without, you know, more news or tariffs, is because it's just nice, slow and steady. Buyers buying it up, pull it back just a little bit for maybe a little profit taking. Or sometimes, guys, when you pull back in a situation like this, doesn't mean the sellers have taken over. It means the buyers are just taking a break for a minute, and then they swoop right back in at the next level, bring it up again and again and again. I sat again when Tank was here. I sat and watched it happen quite a bit. I was really hoping for a hitch and go setup on my Renkos, and I missed it by like 4 ticks at one point. Just didn't really see it. But yeah, just a nice, slow, steady. This is a good confirmation move. Not that we don't need to bring it in a little bit here or there, but just a really, really nice move out of this area. I want to see if let me go back to the. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is a full-on breakout pattern out of the wedge. We talked about this. This was coming to these are clean lines here, guys, and it was coming to a head where, you know, we were going to get an expansion of price action one direction or another. I wish I could tell you I had some master plan as to why I thought it was going to go up. No, up is the default of the markets, and that's where we're heading now. We're coming right into resistance here on the hourly at about 400, and this is pretty strong resistance. So would it shock me if we kept going up through it? No, but I would tend to think that we're going to start maybe stalling out here a little bit if we don't see an increase in the buying volume. But guys, look at this. After that, there's not a whole lot of resistance back to new all-time highs. I'm not really going to count this stuff back here because we pushed up through it on both the upside and the downside. So I'm not too worried about anything from the end of July acting as resistance up here. I think we've got a clean pattern. Now, again, this is the tariff Trump market now. Any sort of announcement today, tomorrow, whenever, could pull us right back down 400, 500, 600 points. But right now, this is when we break out above probably about the 450 level, this is a clean move back to new all-time highs.
Yeah.
So just looking at the daily chart, the last 4 days look ugly if you just look at the last 4 days here on the chart. So I agree with you, Matt. If we break through the 400s and then into the 450s, definitely we can go back up. What did you want to say, Miriam? Sorry, interrupted you there.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just talking out loud. Just trying to look at the charts here and see if there's anything that we're missing. Let's see. Yeah, just this move that we made. There's a seller here. There's a seller here that I don't know. I don't trust that he's done if we get back up here. So we'll see. Not that we're anywhere near that, but this was quite the move that we got. So I would think there would be some sort of struggle to get back through the 550s. We'll see though.
We'll see. Also, oil is dropping. Oil dropping and everything else pumping. So that oil news must have not been that great, I guess.
No, I don't see much on here. Your Swiss president hails good meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Rubio. So maybe we won't have to tariff your appearances, Nick.
What's that? Sorry?
I said apparently your president just met with our Secretary of State, so hopefully that means we don't have to tariff you.
Okay, well, let's get it down to like 5% or 0.
$95 on Bookmaps. Well, you definitely have 400 on Bookmaps that has some sellers sitting there. You can see this 87 area right now, and then 400 has some liquidity. And then nothing really until 420. Let me see. Yeah. 350 as support on NASDAQ currently. Let's go to ES real quick. 366 on ES, and then 375, and then we have 380. Some selling kind of picking up here. They're trying to defend previous day high here on ES. Ooh, lots of selling pressure coming in. Interesting for this time of day too. Let's see if they can hold honestly 60s, 62, and then 58, 57 would be line in the sand for ES. You guys in the background chat are going nuts.
Yeah, sorry. How do you have the... Wait, I just heard it. You have the actual sound notifications on?
I know. Well, my freaking laptop that I just got. Well, that's why I'm like, you guys are going nuts. I don't know how to turn it off.
That would distract me. Holy shit. Wait. Like, be quiet really quick. Nice.
Are you having fun?
Yeah, we are having fun.
You guys are so insane. Oh my god. All right. I'm turning these.
My phone buzzes too, guys. Knock that shit off.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Matt.
Why don't you
so then I turn off notifications, and the next thing you know, like background Nick's desperately trying to get a hold of me for something and doesn't, because I shut off my notifications because you guys are assholes.
Oh Lord.
Oh well.
Anyways.
Hey, how did the chat do? Can we get a poll for the chat? Are we green, red, sideways, kangaroo? Bodie trades, way green. Trader King, monster green. Jason, green on the day. Nice. Very nice. Here's the poll. Let's see. We got green, red, green, and lying, and still just playing Halo. Practicing for Friday. Well, Robert, my main trend line was the one from below, the uptrend line, not the downtrend line. But yeah, I missed that. I missed the long. That's for sure.
Oh boy, this is what happens the last 10-15 minutes of the show every single day.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we hope little Nicky's feeling better. As I told him, he needs to full port some Dayquil or maybe some NyQuil, maybe mix them. Who knows? And but he's not sick enough to not talk some trash in the chat here. So.
All right, the chat here, Tradeify TV chat is cooking again. 51% green, 27% red, 11% green and lying, and 12% playing Halo. Okay.
That works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little torn, but at the same time, like, little Nicky, you gotta rep the company, man. Like, if I don't know, if you guys get your asses kicked, do we even get a stream on Monday?
Oh man. That's awesome.
Glenn only came here for Matt's sarcasm. Nice.
I'm glad I can entertain you, Glenn.
That's great.
Just hand out those accounts. No, you got to earn the accounts.
Who's handing out accounts?
Not how this works.
And you used to just hand out those accounts. No need for a bloodbath. I said, no, we need to. You got to earn them.
Hey, see, that makes two of us. I can absolutely not wait for the IRL streams by Lil Nicky either. Like, that's gonna be fire. Those Chicago IRL streams, they're gonna be bangers.
I know. We'll have to join on some of them one day. Ah.
What was that?
I was just ignore me.
All right, still just kind of hanging out up here at this resistance on the NQ on the hourly. That's a strong, kind of a strong area there. I really feel like we got to get about 30 points above it for a confirmed break. Wish it was a little bit above 400 rather than sitting right at 400. I do think it's going to take a little to get through there, but again, the way the markets have been bought up today, there's a lot of longs, but we need that next wave to take us up. I still say, I think before Labor Day, we're going to be back at new all-time highs, so we'll see what happens.
Potential pause area here that we're sitting on both futures. I mean, not just because NASDAQ's in a supply zone. We're really close to this 400. ES trying to reject its previous day high. The sellers are really trying to protect this area right now. And this same area that I was telling you guys about on ES, look at the 1 hour on ES, flat top resistance that we just cannot seem to get above. So this will also be a level, call it like 374 to 377, really that zone that we'll need to get above. Can you guys chill in the background chat? What is happening?
Just turn off your notifications.
I don't know how. I don't have time to do this right now. Oh,
she's not mad. She's just disappointed.
Yeah. It's literally like click, 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 like every freaking 2 seconds.
Take a sip from your matcha and you're good, okay?
I tried. Last time I sipped from it, it hit my freaking mic.
I don't know. I think you need to pour it over that stupid microphone.
Maybe it'll actually work.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways.
Oh, man. Well, Leia, you entered at 23,294 and you're looking for a 100-pointer at 394? Yeah, I think so. Realistic. I mean, it's just 12 more points. But don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn either. Like, I hope you have your stop loss in.
Yeah, you better get some profit on that, Leia. You know, I'm not gonna put hands on a woman, but we'll fly Miriam over there to whoop your ass if you don't get a good profit on this.
At least move your stop loss to like 50 points or something.
50 points.
I mean, she's
Move
up.
your stop
She's
to 50
up.
points.
She's up 90 points. I mean,
Yeah. Girl, you better move that stop.
Imagine how shit you would feel if you were going for a 100-pointer and then it stops you out break even because you just were too stubborn and you really wanted those 100 points. Yikes.
Yeah, just don't tell Mario S where your stop is going to be.
Actually, he's hunting for it right now. He knows specifically where your contracts are.
I want to know if there's any other market makers in this chat because
they're not going to fess up now.
Mario S is just getting handed to, we're always talking about you, Mario, but we love you. Just make sure you keep us informed of where all the market makers are currently sitting. So
yeah, that's legal.
Yeah, every chat has an algo, probably. Sounds about right. Miriam, you have said on previous streams that you have a general bearish bias. How did you get past that? I'm always looking for a short. Yeah, this is like something that's rough for me because I don't have like, for me, when I go into the markets, like some days, and you guys hear me, I'm like, I'm feeling kind of bullish, I'm feeling kind of bearish, but it's not to say that that couldn't switch up real quick. I tend to like the downside moves better, only because, you know, in my, and I'm not so much this right now, but I used to be a major momentum trader essentially. So what I would be looking for is a very vigorous move out of an area, right? So I'd be looking for trend line breaks, I'd be looking for 9 EMA retests, all that sort of thing. Those strategies still apply for me, but I have adjusted that strategy a little bit more so that right now, you know, a lot of these momentum plays are pretty quick. So when I say momentum, I'm looking really for a nice flush, and a lot of times we see that to the downside. Now, as an options trader or someone who used to trade options heavily, this is something that you need, right? A quick, fast movement is going to help your premium. So it's just something that I've just been so used to in terms of playing. And again, I'm used to that more to the downside because obviously you guys know bears take bulls take the stairs, bears take the window. So when we get that flush, we tend to get a really quick movement. Not to say that, you know, I go into every single day just looking for a bearish move, but you know, it's something that I've been aware of, like, you know, in the last couple years of, all right, some days we just run up to, you know, make new all-time highs, right? And we've seen that happen. And so you got to look at both sides and understand, like, yeah, you might prefer the downside moves, but it's not always going to happen. And you shouldn't always try to look for them, right? You have to be as objective as possible and see what's actually the market's actually telling you. And you guys will notice, like, a lot of times when I'm in a trade, whether I'm short or long, right, I'm talking both sides of the market a lot, right? Even in the trade that I was in earlier, yeah, I took the short, but I told you guys, I'm like, we need to defend specific levels, right? I'm looking at it from, okay, if I'm a bull right now, what would I want to see happen? If I'm a bear right now, what would I want to see happen? So, you know, I talk about, like, you know, I was in the short earlier saying we need to defend 33. We need to defend this level. And if we get back above it, I'm moving my stop to this area because it will invalidate this trade. So you just have to be as objective as possible and understand, like, what's actually telling you, like what the price action is actually telling you. And that's why I always talk out my trades out loud, because it helps me stay unbiased in the trade. So that I'm not sitting there like, okay, I'm short. All right, we're going to hit all new all-time lows, right? As I always say, but you got to be as objective as possible and know and understand when you're going to be wrong on that trade so that you can get out as quickly as you can and just be okay with it, right? And that's what happened. I'm obviously glad that I got out at the 39s, right? Because look what happened. Look what happened to this trade. So, you know, right now, even if I'm being a bear, right, if I'm truly trying to take the downside move, I have to look at this and say, what would actually validate this trade, right? For me right now, okay, we are trying to break a trend line, for example, on the NASDAQ. Okay, that might be one confirmation. Number two is, okay, but we are still sitting above key levels, right? Like, I wouldn't look to take a short necessarily until we can possibly get below this 39, but that's only two confirmations, right? Then third confirmation, I want to see volume. I want to see us really get down below these key levels, because this could just be a quick scalp, right? If I'm looking to take a short, for example, all right, we're breaking this key level, we'd be below the 9 EMA. We have VWAP potentially to target, but we have certain levels that are keeping us from getting there, you know, that soon. So you just have to be as objective as possible. I think that's the best way I can really put it. But that's where that bias comes from for me, is being an options trader, looking for that quick movement in those options premiums and scalping those moves and getting out. And again, I've said this from the beginning, but because we've been in such a nice, strong uptrend, I say a lot of these downward movements are quick movements, right? It's been pretty rare for us, not rare, but it's not common to typically see these downside plays continue, right? We saw this happen today. We did not get the follow through on that level on opening range lows. So a lot of these scalps, a lot of these movements to the downside have to be kind of more scalp movements, or you just have to be willing to, you know, potentially take a loss, or not loss, but, like, you know, trail your stop as quickly as you can, so that you're not getting caught in some sort of pullback that ends up running up 20 points, 30 points, whatever. I hope that was helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. So I think it's time to put a wrap on what was another excellent show today. We thank Amos and we thank Coach Tank for joining us. Hopefully, little D-Gen gets feeling a little better. And we'll be back to full strength tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Thursday, which means Tyler Trades will be joining us. So make sure you tune in for that. So, guys, thanks for watching another edition of Tradeify TV. We'll send it around the horn to say our goodbyes, starting with Mr. YT himself, Swissnick.
Yes, sir. Well, you're Mr. YT as well today, which I like. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being funny. I love the chat. You're always good. Also, you cooked today. So congratulations to everybody who is green. Congratulations to everybody who is red but stuck to your rules and systems. That's a win too. And let's end this show with our one and only future slaying, matcha drinking, self-muting, hot girl walking, stranger hugging, Slack notification hating, curly trader, matcha mommy.
I think we might have to come up with a new one every single day now, moving forward.
I'm on it. I wrote them down now.
Your outro will be 20 minutes by the end of the year.
Again, we'll need a whole new segment for this.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, appreciate you all for hopping on today. I didn't say this in the beginning, but if you haven't already, please like and share and subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you share it with everyone that you know, because we're coming out for that 20K. We're going to be on Friday, by the way. Obviously, we've talked about this already, but the Halo Challenge is coming out too. So we're going to have a little bit of a shorter stream, it sounds like, for us, but you know, those shit talkers are coming on. So make sure you tune in for that as well. Again, tomorrow is Thursday. We are coming off that hump. So just make sure if you made money today, absolutely made money today, or whatever, if you didn't make money today, it's okay. Go ahead and take your day. Make sure that you enjoy it with friends, family. Go send a gratitude text. Enjoy your matchas. Enjoy your hot girl walks. And we will see you guys all tomorrow. We love you guys. Go rest. Go be great and go enjoy the rest of your day. We love you.
Yep.